All right. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
This is Jordan. You've probably seen a bunch of the videos for Old Legacy. I'm here with a bunch of friends, Falcons fans. You guys want to tell them where you're from? Tell them who you support. Tell them where to follow you. T. Will.
Yes, sir. I am T. Will. Hello, everybody. Glad to be with you tonight. And thank you, Jordan, for having me. I'm glad to be a part of this very illustrious cast. I'm T. Will of For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube, as well as One Time for the Fan on YouTube as well. And that's where you can reach me. One Time for the Fan, we're typically there Sunday nights at 8, Wednesday nights at 8, Saturday morning at 9 ish. And for my ATL Sports, we don't have a particular time. We're all over the place. So, with that being said, Smitty, tell everybody. Of course, we all know Smitty 11K, but tell us where you're from, Smitty, and where we can reach you.
I'm fresh out the ATL, man, born and bred.
Yes, sir.
Find me on Spinning Sports Machine on YouTube. Find me during the NFL season on YouTube with my homeboy Chris down below at the 95 North Sports Machine. We'll have shows on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. The preview show is on Wednesday, post game on Sundays, and y'all see me posting out content during the season. Fan questions, top headlines, breaking news, all that good stuff.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
Yes, sir.
Chris.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, Chris Tipmore, man, A1 Forever Sports on YouTube. That's the platform. Born and bred in the ATL, just like Smitty was saying. And just like he was saying, he really illustrated everything for you guys. We have shows coming up, football season going on. Me and Jordan, we go way back, man, to the Utegacy days, really, before it was even called Utegacy. Happy to be a part of this illustrious panel, man. This is going to be fun right here. Can't wait.
Now, anyone watching, you're probably wondering, why do I have a bunch of Falcons fans on this video?
Right, right.
Um, we are going to be discussing the Atlanta Falcons all-time team that I put together. So, if you've been following me for a while, if you know me personally, I've made all-time teams for over 10 years. It tends to be complicated for me. I tend to start an all-time team and think this could be better. I could find out a way to make this look better. I've had an Atlanta Falcons all-time team made for the last 10 years, but I just scratched that and I started over. And I think the way that I build all-time teams now, I think there's a better way of doing it. So, and I figured the best people to critique this or discuss this is Atlanta Falcons fans themselves. So
Mhm.
we're going to dive right in. First, I do want to say when it comes to building an all-time team, I look at 5 major factors. Projected stats is one of them. So normally in the past, I've done just regular stats. And to make this simple, there's 2 things. One, you can scan the QR code at the top left, and it'll take you right to the article that I've made. It's a little over a year old, and it'll say stuff about 2023 or 2022, but it still holds to now. But projected stats are the easiest way to compare eras. I know there's a lot of players who have played 100 years ago that need to be compared to players who are playing right now. It's kind of hard to do that. And statistically, this is a great way to do it. It's similar, if I can simplify it, think about when you're looking at the stock market and you're trying to project what the stock market will be at a certain point. Very similar. Or it's all math based. It's not about, there's nothing opinionated into this. Another thing, league leaders. In the past, I would completely ignore this. I think if you lead the league in receiving yards, you lead the league in catches in any given year, I think that's a very important milestone to look at.
Hmm.
When it comes to awards, I look at all the major awards. I won't look at Super Bowl MVPs because Super Bowl MVPs can be given to anyone if they have just one good game in their career. So you'll never see me talk about Tom Brady's Super Bowl MVPs awards. You'll never see me talking about Malcolm Smith's Super Bowl MVP award with the Seahawks. postseason success. In the past, I've just looked at Super Bowls. This is more looking at how successful was this player over their entire career, over at any point during the postseason, not just the Super Bowl. And this isn't statistics based. This is more about how they were able to help their team. Like you look at Julian Edelman, that's a prime example of someone who has had postseason success, and that elevates their career standards. And then finally, the fifth category, dominance to longevity ratio. This was something that I thought about for a while now. There's some players who play for a long time, but only have a couple good years, and those couple good years carry their whole career, statistically speaking. This is more how many good years. It doesn't have to be a great one. They don't need to have made the Pro Bowl or All Pro. How many good years have they had out of their whole career? So if you have 7 solid seasons where you're throwing for 3,500 yards, you got a 60 plus completion percentage, 25 plus touchdowns, the literal bare minimum for having a solid season, then you will be, that's considered a good season, and that'll be considered for your entire career. So that's my 5 major categories I look at when I'm analyzing an all-time team. And
man, you got some things going on in here, brother.
with that being said, we'll get into quarterbacks. So who do you guys, there's 3 quarterbacks on this all-time team. What 3 quarterbacks do you think are on this team?
Hold on. Before you go, T. Will, I just got to put it out there for the fan base. This right here is definitely not a biased list. I, Smitty, nor T. Will did not compose anything with this list. This is completely Jordan, someone who is not a Falcons fan, even though he has a very nice Falcon jersey on right now. So this is not a bias, place. This is completely stats and everything like that. So this should be a very good list. This is going to be exciting.
Let's do it. All right. So for me, I'm going to say Mr. Matthew Thomas Ryan, okay, Mr. Michael Vick, and Mr. Steve Bartkowski. That's my guess. That's Smitty, Chris, what say you?
Go ahead, Smitty. What you got?
I got the same 3. Ryan, Bartkowski, and Vic. Even though I should probably put Chris Miller in that conversation because he had a better career statistically passing as an Atlanta Falcon. But I'll take Mike Vick as my 3rd option.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. We pretty much on the same accord, but for my 3rd quarterback, I am going Chris Miller. I'm not going Michael Vick.
All right. Let's see what it was.
Well, I will say before I get into this, all 4 of those quarterbacks that all 3 of you named were nominees when going into this. Mm-hmm. And the quarterbacks are it was pretty obvious. This was the one position when I was making this, it was pretty obvious the whole time. Matt Ryan just has significantly more of everything. Yep. Vic, on an average basis, got him it's so high statistically on average for a lot of stats. He was really high. Mm-hmm. He's not going to have the career numbers, but it's those averages that really matter. He's led quarterbacks in rushing yards multiple times. He's led in rushing touchdowns, led all quarterbacks in carries. He's still got a lot of accolades to his name, and that was pretty obvious. And then Bartkowski was another one. When it came to like Chris Miller, it was really these 3, and then there was a huge separation between anyone else at quarterback. So figured as much. When putting this together, this was pretty obvious. And then on a really quick side note, I don't add head coaches to all-time teams or coaches at all because it depends on how you're building a team, who you want your head coach to be. If you're building a team from scratch, you might have a different head coach in mind. Or if you need a team to win a Super Bowl, you might have a completely different head coach in mind. Some franchises that might be different. And that's why I don't look at coaches. But anyways, getting back to quarterbacks, what do you guys think?
Hey man, to be honest with you, it's really like you said, man, elementary. Honestly, I just wanted to shake up some things, maybe possibly see if Chris Miller could have got in there because I know, like overall, he definitely has more completions, yards, all that good stuff. But that you got to factor in that rushing and that electrifying factor by Michael Vick. So, hey man, I can't argue with it.
And Mike Vick did some that Chris Miller didn't. He got to an NFC Championship game. So that was another reason why I picked Vic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm looking at my spreadsheet, the way I do this, I have a spreadsheet that averages out all 5 of those categories, and there were 9 quarterbacks who were nominees for just being on this team at all. Matt Ryan, Steve Bartkowski, Chris Miller. I'm going to probably name some quarterbacks you might not like, but Chris Miller, Chris Chandler, Michael Vick, Jeff George, Bob Berry, Bob Hibbert, and Randy Johnson. Those were all the quarterbacks that they might have had one good season, but that's why they were a nominee in the first place. It was Matt Ryan, then it was Michael Vick, then it was Steve Bartkowski. Very short behind was Chris Chandler at 4.
I could see
and then
that.
after Chris Miller was 6th out of those 9.
Wow.
Yes. So 6. There was a big gap, I would say, after Chris Chandler at 4. Chris Chandler probably had the highest chance of someone not on this list. But
yeah, he started Super Bowl, so I get it.
Yeah, definitely.
And he put up solid numbers too. So
yeah,
I could see that.
All right, so now we've got our quarterbacks. We got Matt Ryan under center.
Matt, number 1.
Who's he gonna hand off to, and who's that running back gonna block? We got running backs and fullbacks. So we got 4 running backs, 2 fullbacks. I know a lot of teams don't use multiple fullbacks, but whenever I'm making an all-time team, I always use 2 fullbacks because there's the occasional package that might utilize 2 fullbacks. So who do you think's the running backs and who do you think's the fullbacks?
Okay, one of them's got to be William Andrews. The other,
honestly, you got to list him as a fullback.
William Andrews.
All right. When
I will say this, at one point.
Even though a lot of players that were listed as fullback, I am counting as running backs. The fullback position for all-time teams are going to be majorly blockers. They may not have run a ton in their careers, but they were also really good at blocking and lead blocking for running backs. So if you do have, it's like Jim Brown, for example, he's going to get listed as fullback in all career stats. But in these situations, look at it as a modern day offense that you're building as.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna say William Andrews, Gerald Perry. Is
Gerald
it 3
Riggs.
or 4? I'm sorry,
4.
Gerald Riggs. You're right. William Andrews, Gerald
Gerald
Riggs.
Perry, baseball.
Yeah, you're right. And I always get him confused because he played for the Braves. Okay, sorry about that.
Right.
William Andrews, Gerald Riggs, Jamal Anderson, and I wanna say,
there we go. See,
you know what? I don't think I'm gonna stop there. Because I wanted to say, is it Devondre Campbell? Not Devondre Campbell.
Devontae Freeman.
I want to say Devontae Freeman, but I don't think he has the numbers. I don't think he has the numbers. So I can't really think of a fourth. I'm gonna say for sure William Andrews, Gerald Perry, and who did I say was the third one?
Jamal Anderson too, didn't he?
And Jamal Anderson. And I'm gonna say as a fullback, one of them maybe Ovi Mahaley, maybe. Pat DeMarco was not purely a blocker. So yeah, all I have is Oli Mahaley from a fullback. Geez, the stuff you remember. So that's what I got, guys. What four running backs? What you got?
I got Gio Riggs, Michael Turner, Warwick Dunn.
I forgot about Turner. You're right.
Yeah, Warwick Dunn, and since you said William Andrews could be classified as a running back, definitely got to be William Andrews. And fullbacks, I go Ovi Mahaley and Bob Christian.
I forgot about Bob Christian.
Yeah. For me, fullbacks, I had actually Bob Christian as well, but I also had Keith Smith, believe it or not.
What is wrong with me? And I think Keith Smith is on that list.
Let me see. And then as for running backs, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I like Turner. Definitely gotta have Andrews. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, this is tough.
I'm gonna go Riggs and okay, so Turner, Riggs, Andrews, Anderson.
All right. That's tough.
Well,
yeah, that's douche.
I will say all 6 of those players that are going to be on here were named at some point, including the fullbacks. When I originally started hang on one second. I think we were
I hit the wrong button.
We lost Chris for a second.
Man, I hit the wrong button, y'all. My bad.
When I first started building my all-time team for the Falcons 10 years ago, I had Gerald Riggs number 1. That was the number 1. William Andrews was number 2. The rest was a little shaky. Now, it's a little different. It's pretty different. In fact, I was shocked looking at this group after I got done doing it. So here are the running backs and fullbacks.
Okay.
So we got
Devontae is on there.
Okay, Devontae on there.
Past Riggs? Wow.
Devontae.
Hey.
Wow.
I'll just say Bob Christian and Obi Mahaley were there though.
Yeah. So I don't know about. So you had to look at average. You had to look at average yards then, like, because you got to explain this.
Devontae.
Let's talk about it.
So all right, when I look at stats, I look at the overall projected stats category. Okay. Everything's projected to now, but it's your career numbers, your by season numbers, your by game numbers, and your by touch numbers. Okay. So you look at all 4 categories, because I look at it as by doing your whole career, that's longevity. Doing a by season, that's a little longevity. It's more of how elite were you over a long period of time. By game was more how good was your prime, and by touch was just what was your peak. So, and that was for rushing and receiving, because running backs got to do both.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that, because I don't think Riggs was much of a receiver. So
there was 10 running backs that were running backs / fullbacks that also ran like modern day fullbacks turning into modern day running backs. 10 were nominated. There were 6 that were really stood out from the rest. From 1 to 6, there was a small gap there. Everyone else 7 to 10, not that great. In terms of the 6, Michael Turner was one. After that, there was a decent gap between Michael Turner and William Andrews. After William Andrews, really close behind was Devonta Freeman. Really close behind was Jamal Anderson. And who's the last guy, the guy who just missed the cut, Gerald Riggs, was 5. Okay. And 6 was work done.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
So if you want to know my top 6 running backs in Falcons history, that's it. But in terms of making the all-time team, those are the running backs. And then really quickly, fullbacks. When it came to fullbacks, it came down to how because you can't stats are kind of hard for them. Stats were factored into this, but also team rushing stats were factored into this because you need to help your team run.
Right, run blocking. Right.
Bob Christian, way ahead of any other fullback in Falcons history.
Of course.
Yeah, solid receiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Avi Muhaley, if I'm butchering that name, I apologize. But also, he was the clear and obvious 2. These 2 were clear-cut, obvious fullback 1 and fullback 2.
Right.
Yeah, man. I had to throw Keith in there, man. Shout out to Keith, man. You know, appreciate you for all the things you did.
How far was Keith? Like, was Keith on the?
He probably wouldn't even on there for real.
He was a nominee. There's not many fullbacks to really choose from because when it came down to it, looking at modern day fullbacks, you can really only go to the 90s. Keith Smith probably is in the top 5, but that's not saying much because there's not many to choose from.
Yeah.
Right.
Quick question.
Yes.
Quick question. What would you classify Craig Hayward as?
Craig Hayward was on the running backs.
Okay.
And he finished 7th. So out of the 6 I name, there was a huge gap, and then Craig Hayward.
Gotcha.
The other players that were 7 to 10 were Craig Hayward, Dave Hampton, John Settle, and Cannonball Butler.
Cannonball Butler. That's a name right there.
That's a name.
Cannonball Butler.
I heard that name.
I'm changing my name to Cannonball Butler. That's it.
He sounds either like a football player or a closer in baseball.
Hey,
Bring in Cannonball. Let's go. We need to show them.
Nah, it's Cannonball sound like when it's a mosh pit, you don't want to be in there if he coming.
No, you don't.
Oh, Cannonball.
Right. Any final thoughts on the backs before we get to some receivers?
Shoot, man. Honestly, outside of Devontae Freeman, they're really, I guess, outside of Devontae Freeman, I think the running backs and fullbacks pretty much kind of like line up.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I was surprised about Devontae. I had Gerald in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an avid hater of Devontae Freeman. I like Tevin Coleman more than him. So that goes to show my own reference going into this is my own opinion, I would have never had Devonta Freeman on this list. He wasn't on my initial one that I made 10 years ago. Well, also 10 years ago, he wasn't even on the Falcons.
Yeah.
But I didn't like him all that much, and I'm literally wearing a Jamal Anderson jersey, but this is how things play out.
Yeah. Let's say some controversy.
Yeah, for me, like Devontae, when he peaked, he was great, but then that drop off,
it was a drop off.
So it's like it, but I guess in his peak times, he really peaked. You know, I mean, 2014, 15. When did he start? Did he start with us in 15 or 14? I want to say
15.
That's what I want to say too.
Yeah, so 15 he was decent. 2016 he took off like a rocket. And then it was like a steady decrescendo down. So I don't know, but like you say, numbers don't lie. So let's get to the receivers, Jordan. All right.
So we're going to look at receivers, wide receivers, and tight ends. So when it came down to doing this, we'll have 5 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. Who do you think?
5 wide. You said 5 wide, 3 tight ends? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
okay.
It's gonna be so for your tight ends, for me, it's gotta be Algie Crumpler, Tony Gonzalez. I don't know that Kyle Pitts has gotten there, even though he's been
Junior Miller would be my third.
I would say Junior Miller as well. I would agree with that. And then receivers, you gotta have Roddy White Obviously, Mr. Julio Jones, Mr. Andre Bad Moon Rising. For 3, and then now it gets interesting. I don't know that Terrence Mathis had the numbers. He was a decent receiver. I don't know that he had the numbers. I'm gonna say Alfred Jenkins from way back in the 70s. Maybe Billy White Shoes Johnson. Although I don't know that he was with the Falcons long enough, but those are my top 5. So again, like for receivers, for me, obviously Julio, Roddy, Andre Bad Moon Rising, Alfred Jenkins, and Billy White Shoes Johnson. For tight ends, I agree with Smitty. It's gonna be Junior Miller, Algie Crumpler, and Tony Gonzalez. That's me. Smitty, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going wide receiver. I'm going Julio, Roddy, Andre Rison, Terrence Mathis, and Alfred Jenkins, and the same 3 tight ends: Junior Miller, Tony Gonzalez, and y'all know who the other one is.
Okay. Dang, man. Oh,
all right,
man. Okay.
Before Chris talks, before
go
Chris
ahead.
says anything, Chris might already know the tight ends, because I had a huge debate while I was making this with our Panthers administrator Austin. If he's watching, he knows this conversation we had.
Shout out to Austin, man.
So I don't think Chris should say the tight ends, because he probably already knows. Because me and a Panthers and Austin had an issue with who was the number 1 and who was number 2, and when I went to ask Chris, I was like, "What do you think about this?" And Chris gave his own opinions. That one was better than the other, to say the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I can do wide receivers, man. I can do wide receivers because I do have an idea of definitely at least who 2 of them are, and definitely if I remember that conversation correctly, I probably do know the 3rd one. So in all fairness, I will just do the wide receivers. That's 5, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. 5 wide receivers. I'm going Julio, Roddy, of course. I'm putting Terrence Mathis in there. Shoot, man, that's one of the guys that got me into like Falcon wide receivers. I mean, I was at the tail end of pretty much like Michael Hayes or whatnot. I was at the tail end of that. I kind of was introduced to Terrence. So I'm going Terrence. I'm going Andre Rison. And okay. I think I'm gonna go Alfred Jenkins. I think I'm going Julio, Roddy, Terrence, Alfred, Andre. Yeah, that's where I'm going.
All right.
What you got?
Only because I feel like Calvin Ridley was not a Falcon long enough.
Nope.
So
what we got?
Okay. I thought about that one.
Jimmy. Hey, so real quick, shout out to Jordan, because I would have got every last one of these correct. Yeah, I sure would have.
So, all right, really quickly, I want to say something absolutely wild when I was doing this. So if I only base this entire team off of stats, Andre Rison would be the number 1 wide receiver.
Absolutely.
Julio.
I've heard that. I've heard that before. Yeah.
His averages are, quite frankly, insane. Over such a short period of time, and he did so much. He single-handedly put himself into that top 3 conversation because of what he did statistically. But overall, when it came down to rankings off those 5 categories, Julio was clear-cut number 1. There's a huge gap between him and Roddy White. It was, I mean, Julio's average ranking was 1.53. So that means he was number 1 or number 2 in most of the categories that I did.
Right.
Then Roddy, 3 being Andre Rison, very shortly thereafter Roddy, 4 being Alfred Jenkins very shortly thereafter, Rison, and then a slight gap in between Alfred Jenkins and Terrence Mathis. But otherwise, after that, there's a huge gap between all the other nominees. There were 11 nominees for this position. And then
when Rison was in his prime, and Terry can verify this, next to Jerry Rice and Sterling Sharp, Andre Rison was the next in line in that era. So I definitely agree with him being possibly first.
You want to know something else that's crazy about Andre Rison? As I just had to go look at some numbers here. Andre Rison played the least amount of games in a Falcons uniform than any of those guys. Just like it's a gap. Like it's a real nice gap. Like 78 for Andre Rison. The next closest is Alfred Jenkins at 110.
Yep.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Look at that gap of games. So just imagine if he had over 100 games in a Falcon uniform.
He
just
would
don't know
Mr.
where he.
Yeah, he'd be Mr. Falcon.
I'm just saying, you get him 30 more games. That's back then. That's still at least a season and almost 2 seasons right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if he stays a Falcon for his entire career, we definitely would have had 1 or 2 Super Bowl wins.
Man, it's crazy.
So when it came down to tight ends, it was pretty clear cut that these were the top 3. I mean, I can list the other ones in order. After Jim Mitchell, it was Austin Hooper, Junior Miller, Kyle Pitts so far, and Arthur Cox. After that, you were getting into guys getting real under like 1,000 yards in their whole career. So, or just no awards whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, I know, and the whole debate with me and Austin was he feels Alex Crumpler was a better tight end than Tony Gonzalez because he made a bigger impact. This whole team isn't based off of like popularity or impact, but more of what you did in your career. So, and Tony Gonzalez in such a short time blocked so well and caught passes so well. And yeah, there really is a small gap between Tony Gonzalez, Alex Crumpler, and Jim Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, I completely agree. I completely agree.
So, what do you guys think overall about the receivers and tight ends?
I can roll with it.
Hey,
It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. I
really
didn't
go
think
wrong.
Terrence had the numbers, but apparently he does. So yeah, that's
Ha! So. Take that, Terry. Not just playing.
I will say, out of I know Smitty, you got all the receivers right. Chris, you got all the receivers right, and T. Will, you got all of them but one. You added Billy White Shoes Johnson. Billy White Shoes Johnson was in the nominees, and out of the 11 receivers I looked at, he was 11th.
So he was on the list. Really? He was on the list. That's all that matters. He was on the list. So whatever. He was in the club, man. He wasn't in the VIP section, but he was in the club. So
who was number 6?
Number 6 was Wallace Francis.
Wallace.
Yeah.
My man Wallace.
Yep. The others 7 to 11 were Michael Haynes, who was on my original Falcons all-time team when I originally did this. Burt Emanuel was 8. 9 was Calvin Ridley. 10 was Michael Jenkins, and 11 was Billy Johnson.
What would you classify Eric Metcalf?
Eric Metcalf. See, the issue is,
did he play?
He played both. He could play either. That's the thing. He played running back and receiver.
And that's where players like, all right, for example, someone like him and Lenny Moore, for example, guys who played running back and receiver, it might hurt them trying to make this list because I am comparing their overall stats, and they just might not have the averages to even compete with any of these guys.
Right, because he only averaged like 7-8 yards a catch. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So next is the big guys up front, offensive line. I mean, we can go into predictions for everything, but I got 4 offensive tackles, 4 offensive guards, 2 centers. If you want to just name the starting 5, you can, but that's completely up to you.
Well, I can tell you this. Hold on, Dan. You said how many centers you said?
I got 4 offensive tackles, so you got left tackle and right tackle. But all right, for this, I'm not specifying whether they play left or right.
The easiest one.
Yeah, I just want to figure out how many he had at center.
Just 2.
But yeah, you got 4 tackles, 4 guards, 2 centers.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I'll give you a hint. Center was the hardest. Backup center was the hardest position for me to figure out.
I bet it was.
Yeah,
because I only got 3 names in my head for center.
Yeah, that's all I got at 3.
was Mike Ken a center?
No, left tackle.
Left tackle.
He's gonna be.
But he definitely one of my tackles. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that he's definitely one of my tackles.
At tackle, I would go Mike Ken, Bob Whitfield, Nick Matthews. Everybody else before my time.
Is Jake on that list? Is Jake on that list?
Yeah, he said Jake.
Yeah, I said Jake. The only other guy I can think of is Sam Baker, even though he was injured a lot.
Was Tommy Nobles a tackle or a guard?
Tommy Nobles was a linebacker.
He played a little center too, but primarily linebacker.
Okay, I thought he had played some center. Okay.
The only center that I can think, well, it's plenty I can think of. I can think of Mud Duck is one. He played the longest. So I would say, and I hate to say this because Alex Mack had a damn good career in Atlanta, but I would go Jeff Van Note at center and Todd McClure at center.
Yeah, that's that's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Jeff Van Note. I'm sorry, Todd. I'm gonna have to go Jeff Van Note and Alex Mack.
Hey, I mean, my thing is, I think between the two of those guys, I mean, you kind of, it's almost tomato. What do you like, the longevity, or what do you like, the production, or whatever? But definitely Jeff Van Note #1 on center for me. But yeah, backup center, that is tough. Lord have mercy. Oh Lord.
All right. Before I get into this, go ahead, Chris. I want to hear.
I was about to say. I was just gonna say center. I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna go to Alex Mack. Oh, and I feel like that's so hurting me. I feel like it's Mud Duck, but I'm gonna go Alex Mack. And then for tackles, yeah, you gotta have Keen in there, Whitfield, Jake Matthews. Shoot. No, he was a guard. Never mind.
Yeah, I ain't did my guards yet, but I got a good idea.
No, I'm just trying to think who would my 4th tackle be. I really don't even know who I want my 4th tackle to be. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So I guess I will roll with Sam Baker myself. Just for the lack of who y'all got at guard?
Yeah, because when I started watching football, Bob Whitfield had just got drafted.
Justin Blaylock for me at guard.
Right, that was one.
That's one of mine.
My boy Keenan Forney, he's another. Bill Fralick and
I have Fralick.
Got to be Chris Lindstrom because he's the best guard in the league right now.
I would say Lindstrom too. I had to get him on the all-time team already because he's going to be a good one. Yeah, but Fralick definitely on my list.
All right. So
Yeah.
offensive line is gonna be
What?
hard to find stats for. Let's all be honest
Right.
with ourselves.
Yeah, right.
Especially when you're going back to the late '60s. So I looked at awards. I looked at everything else. This is the one group of positions that doesn't have those 5 main categories I look at. It has 4 of them, not those projected stats. Instead of that, I looked at what is the common, what do people most commonly put in terms of their tackles, their guards, their centers for a Falcons all-time team. So I researched well over 100 articles to figure out what was the common denominator, what was the common offensive lineman. And that was more of a deciding factor. It was never the reason I put someone here. I would look at all the awards that they put up, the games they played, how many games they started, their postseason success. I would look at all of that. And for modern players, how many sacks the team allowed. I looked at a wide variety of factors because it is so hard to figure out that. So
I got a question.
Yes.
Well, actually, not a question. Because I know we was naming like 3 guards, and this is like more so. I know Smitty, you and T. Will are fans longer than me. What about? I may be saying his name wrong, but I do recall him like just saying in Falcons history. RC, his name is like RC. Yeah. What about him for a guard? Because I'm just thinking, like in history,
talk about longevity. He was one of those guys with longevity.
Yeah, I think that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
I'm just looking at some names here, and that's the name that kind of stands out to me. I know he made a couple Pro Bowls just listening to Jordan and everything. A couple of Pro Bowls, made his first one in his 5th season. So I think for my 4th one, I would be going there as well.
So
as far as guards,
out of the 10 players that are on this offensive line, you guys have named 8 out of the 10 at some point. So here's the Atlanta Falcons all-time offensive line.
Oh, I forgot George. Oh, shit. I forgot about George.
Yeah, Chris Hinton. That's a good one too.
And
he came over to trade with Andre Rison. That's crazy. He came over to trade with Andre Rison.
One note about Chris Hinton before you guys go on. He was debated at tackle or guard. He was in the conversation too because he played both. He was going to be in that conversation. But please, go.
Man, yeah, I never. Man, if I would remember George Kunz, oh boy, I ain't gonna lie. I know I'm like the youngest Falcon fan up here, but I feel like I should have had that one. I can't believe I went Sam.
I bet Uncle Steve would have nailed that one.
Oh yeah, he would have fired that up. Yeah, Uncle Steve would have fired that one up. Offensive lineman, yeah, he probably would have named all those guys.
Whitfield actually my favorite Falcon offensive lineman of all time.
My guy RC made it.
Bart was that dude.
Yeah, man. Hey, this still is a good offensive line right here, though.
There was one name that I saw a lot, but because of a list of other factors or why he shouldn't be on this list, he was actually named by one of you. T. Will, you said his name. Justin Blaylock.
Justin Blaylock.
It came down to that 4th guard spot came down to Blaylock or Hinton for me. And in a similar way, I approached it a similar way as the reason why Andre Rison is so high on the team. Because Hinton had such a great career in such a short time that Blaylock was never Blaylock was solid for a long time, and that was really it. In terms of what he could do for this team.
Man, I can respect that. Hey, I mean, I know he definitely was a guy who you could depend on over the years. You know, Justin Blaylock was, and I think that's another reason why I had gave it to him. But I can understand that though. Yeah, I can still go with Chris Hinton. I still can't believe I missed that. George Cons.
I just went blank with that one because I done heard him. I done actually watched film on him, so I knew I should have knew that one.
Yeah. Feel bad, Schmitty. Feel bad. No.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, hey, man, you know, got to liven it up in here, man.
Wow.
All right.
Hey, man, this list is going good, though. This is wait till we get to the defense. Oh, I can only imagine what's about to happen.
Yeah, I mean, when it came down to, this is the whole offense. This is the Falcons' all-time offense. Really quickly, any specific player you feel like should have been added to this team?
Like I said, man, Keenan Forney, man, he was a force for a long time. And anybody that blocked for Michael Vick, period, could have been on this list because you had to be super athletic to move around the field, just keep blocking for him. And I've heard that 1,000 times from a couple of players. But yeah, I would put Forney on that guard list.
I'd say Todd McClure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
He was nasty. Who else? Because it was two of them on that team. They were real nasty.
What's my man name? He used to was it Harley? Joe Harley? What's his name?
No,
I'm thinking about somebody else.
I'm thinking about somebody league yet.
He was real nasty.
I'm actually thinking about somebody who's not even a football player. Yeah, that's crazy. What my man name is, because they used to, I can see him, but I can't say his name. Man, see, this is what I need to chat right here.
Anybody in the chat got that name?
Man, what?
I'm gonna say Todd McClure. I can't think of his name, but they were together on the same deep offensive line, and they would
hold on.
They would extend plays, shall we say? So, you know, every now and then they may be accused of playing past the whistle, like they would block and block.
Was it Matt Lear?
No,
Harvey Dahl.
Yeah. Harvey Dahl.
It could have been. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, they got after it, man. They got after it. So
yeah,
I like my offensive and defensive linemen rather surly, you know, rather mean, not the nice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That year Vic and Dunn ran for 1,000 yards. Couldn't nobody stop this run game.
DVD.
If only Vic could put up better passing numbers, that was easily a Super Bowl team because they control the clock every single game.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, 100%.
All right,
well,
Chris.
all right. I'm sorry.
Chris,
go ahead.
What player you think should have been added to this team?
Oh shoot, man. To be honest with you, I'm really kind of good. I would say maybe going back to the running back position on Jared Riggs. I understand Devontae, but you know, I think Gerald should be right there. I'm pretty sure that, you know, again, you was explaining it earlier, but I would have put Gerald Riggs in there.
Yeah, I like Warrior Dunn over Freeman too.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you really could have went either way, right? So
yeah.
And for center, the center that just missed it, that I said was neck and neck, was Mack and McClure. So it was really close. Honestly, that's a coin toss. There's reasons why you might have wanted the two. Jeff Van Note was going to be the center, but Mack or McClure, at the end of the day, if someone else has McClure as their backup center, I won't argue.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamie Dukes.
Yeah. Shout out to Jamie
Dukes.
Yep.
Shout out to Jamie.
He was also one of the nominees. I won't get into the nominees because there was a lot that I went
Oh
over.
yeah.
Oh, for that one,
Take
yeah.
all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we will get into some defense. So let me really quick. I don't remember if edge rushers or interior defensive linemen are next.
Interior defensive linemen is next.
It is?
Yeah, 6 of them. Yeah. 6
Okay.
interiors, 4 edges, 4 off-ball linebackers, 5 cornerbacks, and 4 safeties.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Yep,
that was
yep,
what I
yep.
gave. All right, that's the list I gave you guys. But
Mhm.
next is edge rushers.
Okay.
Edge rushers.
There are
That's cool.
4. There are
That's
4
easy.
edge rushers.
That's easy.
Oh,
Who do you think?
I go start off. I got to go Claude Humphrey. That's my dude.
That's one.
Yeah.
Chuck Smith.
Yep.
That's 2.
John Abraham.
Yep.
That's 3.
Let's see. It's 4 is up. It's up in the album. I go Patrick Kearney, number 4.
I agree with everything he said. I agree with everything he
Yes,
said.
really. What can I say? Vic Beasley. Not just playing. I'm playing. I'm joking.
Ah!
I just had
wow.
to. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
wow.
Just had to.
Cut his
I
mic
throw a
off.
joke in
Somebody
there.
cut his mic off.
No, no, man. Y'all chill. No, but I'm definitely going Pat Kearney, man, as well. I used to be a big fan of Pat Kearney. Used to love what he used to bring to the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like he was an underrated guy who used to get to the quarterback, man. So yeah, I can go for those 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, 1,000%, especially Claude Humphrey.
Yeah.
So if I reiterate the 5 main, all right, if I reiterate the top 5 reasons I'll look at a player, I'll reiterate them. Projected stats, league leaders, awards, postseason success, dominance to longevity ratio. You guys want to throw any other name possibly in there?
Yeah, hold on.
You know what? I'm bold, man. I throw Vic Beasley in there because he's still top 5 all the time in sacks.
Yeah,
and he did have a season with 15 and a half.
I'm not gonna reward that. I'm not gonna throw Beasley. I'm not doing that. We have not arrived at that day and time where I would do that. And no disrespect to him, but I don't think he wanted to be here. And once what's his name left from the 2016 team left, he just checked out. And even if he is on the list, I'm not gonna say it.
Hold on, real quick. How many is it like defensive tackles too? Like how many is defensive tackles is it?
So
6. Okay.
Interior defense. So it's interior defensive lineman. So if you're in I looked at this. If you're in a 3-4 defense and you're a defensive end, defensive tackle, you're in an interior defensive lineman. Now, if you were a 3-4 D end and a 4-3 D end, then you were considered for both edge rusher and interior defensive lineman.
Okay.
Okay.
So
but all the edge rushers are mostly edge rushers.
Okay. So interior. Y'all got somebody to add to the edge?
I don't know. We probably should, but I don't.
What about well, nah, dang, he was a defensive tackle. Never mind. Not so.
So, all right, the next slide won't include interior defensive lineman. That'll be the slide after.
Okay.
So edges, interior defensive lineman. That's tough.
All right. Yeah, it really is.
So, for edge rushers, you guys said at one point 3 of the 4. There was one you missed.
Everybody
one you joked about too.
Oh my god! Oh wow! Yeah. Oh wow! Oh man! If Jack were here, he'd have the sound. Wow!
And see, I was just bullshitting.
Man, Jack might call a penalty on you, Jordan. Gee, oh shit.
Oh, hey, I forgot about John Zook, but I thought he was a defense. Well, I mean, you did just say, yeah, you did. Okay, all right. Yeah. That's the whole point of you saying that. Yeah,
Vic Beasley, I told y'all.
Hey, I said Vic, man, but I was just trying to throw him out there, man. But dang, he really on the list. But hey, so wait a minute. I for all those who shout out to Tidy and all them, for all those who had that conversation about Vic Beasley, whether he was a bust or not. Vic Beasley is on this all-time Falcons list.
I don't think he was a bust. He was just played out of place. And when you
I demand a recount. I demand a recount. Hold up. Is there a challenge flag? Let me throw a challenge flag. Okay. All right. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew Abe and Claude was gonna be there because
I knew Claude was gonna be there.
Yeah, definitely.
That was the first name I thought
number
of
one.
Making this list.
Yeah, Claude number one.
I knew Abraham was gonna be there. I forgot about John.
So I'm guessing Patrick Kerner number 5.
Yeah.
He's probably like number 6.
So I didn't do like averages like before, but it was more head to head. I looked at everything to see who's better. Chuck Smith was one of them, and Kearney.
Yeah.
It was more Chuck Smith though versus Vic Beasley for that 4 spot. And it ultimately came down to that one season that Vic Beasley had.
Yeah.
Right. In defense for Vic Beasley, he's got the averages. He's got all the averages you need because of that one season. That one season, he got awards. He led the league in sacks. And that's more than a lot of other players after these top 3 can say.
Yeah.
So
think about this too. Think about this too. Since he left, what Falcons have had 8 sacks in the season since?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, the Falcons, they're. I would say this is the one category where there's a dearth of talent because you just haven't had that many edge rushers that were that good. So. Thinking about it in those terms, that makes sense. I get it. I would have never guessed that, but I get it. So
it makes sense though, right?
No, it does. It does.
When
sense.
I looked at projected sack totals. Already Humphrey is one of the best, but even projected to now, it just increases a lot. Humphrey was the clear and obvious number 1 edge rusher. John Abraham was the clear and obvious number 2 edge rusher, and doing this, John Zook was the clear and obvious 3rd edge rusher. There's huge gap in between Humphrey and Abraham. There's a huge gap between Abraham and Zook, and there's a huge gap between Zook and everybody else. So,
right. Gotcha.
I mean that's kind of how I looked at it. What else do you guys think?
No,
I mean, hey, when you break it down,
when you break it down, it makes sense. It makes sense.
All right. So next we have 6 interior defensive linemen. Now you might be wondering why 6. Well, if you're running a 3-4 defense, you're gonna have 3 interior defensive linemen out there, and you're gonna need 3 backups for those interior defensive linemen. So you got 6 interior defensive linemen. They could be 3-4 defensive ends. 4-3 defensive tackles. They could just be nose tackles. So who do you think is on this list? You don't need to name them all. You could just name a couple of them.
I'll give you 3 off the top of my head. I go Grady Jarrett 1, Travis Hall.
Yep.
Travis Hall.
I mean, man, it's so many. It's 1,000. 6.
I'm trying to tell you.
I can't name nobody from the early 90s because they wasn't it. I throw Shane Dronette in there.
That's what I was thinking.
Hey, y'all getting crazy now.
I throw Grady Jackson, Rod Coleman. Man, it's so many. Yeah, I roll with those.
So
Rod Coleman, Grady Jackson,
Said Rod
Travis
Coleman.
Hall,
Yeah,
Grady Jarrett. Yeah,
I had Travis Hall. Yeah, I had Travis Hall myself. I do have Rod Coleman. I do have Rod Coleman. I do have Shane Dronette, Jonathan Babineau.
I throw Pierce Holden there.
That's a good one too. Here, let me see. After Babineau though. What about no, I don't know. I wanted to say Tony what his name is Celis.
Tony Casillas.
Casillas. Yeah, Tony
Yeah,
Casillas.
that's what I was gonna say.
Uh dang, one more. Well, I'll go Grady Jackson just because, yeah, I'll go Grady Jackson.
Yeah. Well, you guys said mine, so I'm good with it.
I hope Perea Jerry ain't on the list.
Bruh, listen. Parade Jerry, Jamal Anderson. I bet not see none of them on the defensive side.
Oh,
So,
man.
all right, you named 4 of the 6.
Okay.
So here's the interior defensive linemen for the Falcons. All
Travis Hall, Grady
Brady
Jarrett.
Smith,
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, Brady
Mhm.
Smith is a good one.
Babs.
Dang. I wouldn't have, me personally, I wouldn't have gotten Don Smith at all. I think maybe I was, before me, but Travis Hall for sure. Yeah, Grady deserves to be on there. Like I was saying, Rod Coleman. Yeah, Brady Smith.
Babineau.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, Brady
Babineau.
Smith.
Y'all say, man, that's why I was saying Babineau. I was surprised y'all guys didn't say him.
Yeah, Brady Smith could have been high up this list. Injuries killed his part in Atlanta, but he was a pretty good player when he was healthy.
Yeah.
So, I will say this. You guys may be hurt by this.
Yeah.
This is the weakest part of this entire all-time team,
Yeah,
and it
I
is
can believe that.
it is one of the worst interior defensive line all-time groups I think I've seen. Not the Texans is the worst. We don't even need to get into the Texans because they have no history. So, but in terms of teams who have existed for quite a long period of time, this is probably one of the worst. Travis Hall, Grady Jarrett, Roderick Coleman were the top. They're guaranteed top 3. Initially, when I was starting this, I thought Grady Jarrett would be 1, but Travis Hall statistically,
Travis Hall
was he was different, bro. He was.
And then Roderick Coleman, another guy. This top 3 was pretty obvious. Jonathan Babineau. When I originally made my all-time team, this was before Grady Jarrett. Jonathan Babineau was my number 1 defensive interior. At the time, I didn't have interior defensive linemen. I had defensive ends, defensive tackles, outside linebackers. It was very unorganized. So now it's a little more organized, having an edge rusher, interior defensive lineman. You can go in whatever system you want with these guys. If you are running a 4-3 defense, then Travis Hall, Grady Jarrett are going to be your defensive tackles. If you're running a 3-4, Coleman will then be in there.
Right.
But Babineau was on there, and it came down to longevity for him. And because of longevity, he added those statistics. But otherwise, on a per game basis, not that great. Don Smith and Brady Smith both also did great. There was a lot of interior defensive linemen, even though the group wasn't that great.
Yeah. And I tell people, man, Travis Hall is the perfect example as you can get a GM in the later rounds. Every time people bring up GMs in the later rounds, his name always comes to mind.
Facts. Travis, I'm saying, man. Got to go look at some tape on that guy, man. He was before his time for sure.
Yeah, he'll dominate in today's game.
All right. So next is the linebacking group. So I don't remember what number I think I gave you guys 4.
4.
There's actually 5 linebackers that make
5.
this team. Okay. There's 5.
Okay.
Who do you think's on this team?
Who we got? T. Will. I
Well,
know
we
you.
know Tuggle.
I'm gonna go. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jesse
can
Tuggle.
we all get it out the way and just say Tuggle is there for you on there, guys? So we
Yeah.
only got 4 left.
Yeah.
All right, so we
We
all
got
only
4
got
left.
4 left.
Jesse Tuggle, Keith Brooking, Tommy Nobis,
Buddy Curry.
I
Ooh,
forgot about Buddy Curry.
Buddy Curry.
You know what? Is it 4 or 5?
5.
I go John Rady too for number 5.
Boy, y'all saying
I
some names.
would go John Rady as well. Yeah, I would go John Rady as well.
Chris, you got any more?
Jeez, I mean, shoot, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. They do it. We already got Tuggle.
Deion Jones. Do he be in the conversation? He wasn't in here about 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
I mean, to be honest with you, I was going to put him at 5. Believe it or not, I thought about it, but the only guy in my mind that is countering that is maybe putting. And I know he wasn't here long, but hey, man, like I wanted to kind of like throw Curtis Lofton in there, but nah. I'm gonna go Deion Jones 5. So I still got one more. I'm gonna go with the Buddy Curry too. So Deion Jones, Buddy Curry, Tommy Novis, Keith Brooking, and Jesse Tuggle. That's my 5.
Yeah.
All right. So when I put this together, this was one of the most challenging top 2 that I had to put together. 3 was clear and cut. The top 3 is guaranteed should be everybody's top 3. It's just this top 2. When I initially put this top 2 together 10 years ago, I had number 2 at number 1 and number 1 at number 2.
It's probably Tuggle and Brooking. Brooking. I'm sorry. Tuggle and Nobis. Yeah.
Oh, forgot about Greg.
Greg Brazina. Part of that grits blitz. That should have been.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that would have been hard for me to get that one anyway. That's a little bit too far back for me, maybe, to just remember just like that. But yeah, that's a good name too, though, man. Hey, Deion Jones made it too, y'all. By the way,
yeah. You can't deny, man. His first 3 years was the best.
Yeah, man. Debo came in,
passes, pick sixes, all that.
Bro, it was a reason we were calling him Debo. Okay, for real.
So when I was putting this together, I really thought Nobis was going to be number 1. But Tuggle's numbers are supremely underrated. What he was able to accomplish, he should be wearing he should have been wearing a gold jacket 10 years ago.
Hold on, Jordan. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Hold on. The volume was down on somebody's car. They just turned it up. Can you say it one more time? He should
have been wearing a gold jacket 10 years ago.
Oh, I thought that's what he said.
I know everybody. I'm sure I know a lot of Falcons fans say Tommy Nobis for the Hall of Fame, and I understand it. I completely get it. But I don't think a lot of Falcons fans are trying hard enough to say, dude, look at what Jesse Tuggle did.
Yeah.
Jesse Tuggle has the resume that he should have walked in the Hall of Fame after he was eligible, maybe the first or second year.
And I'm glad you said that, because I put his stats side by side with Zach Thomas, and they better. And Zach Thomas is a fan.
Talk about
where he played, losing teams. That's what it boils down to.
Keith Brooking was every list that I've seen has Keith Brooking at 3. That was I think more obvious than actually figuring out who is number 1. then Deion Jones. Deion Jones in such a short time, his averages are fantastic.
Crazy.
Then he has the playoff success too. On top of that, he has all of that in such a short time period. And then Greg Berzina, I think he's a very underrated player.
Yeah, my
Buddy
big
Curry,
bro, John said Greg Brazina and Al Richardson.
another guy I considered. But
Yeah.
it ended up coming down to Brazina or Curry to be that fifth spot. I just ended up going with Brazina.
Hey, so Curry was considered. He was right there. But yeah, man. Old Greg, GB, man. Shout out to him and his family.
All right. Any final thoughts on the linebackers of the Falcons all-time team?
Nah, Buddy Curry, he played what 10 seasons. Yeah, I would have loved to see Buddy Curry on this list, but I get it, man. Like I said, Greg was part of that Grit Blitz defense, so he put up the numbers.
All right. Next is a combination of cornerbacks and safeties.
Oh, okay.
So we have 5 cornerbacks and 4 safeties.
All right.
I first want to hear from Smitty because I have already kind of hinted to T. Will and Chris about this, but I'd like to hear from you, Smitty, first.
Dion 1, Roland Lawrence 2. I got to go Brent Grimes. He put up numbers. D'Angelo Hall, even though he was only here for 4 seasons. I put AJ Terrell in my top 5. So that would be my 5.
Okay, y'all. First of all, I want to let y'all know.
Don't get me wrong. Bobby Butler was a good corner, but I just think those other guys, they just.
All right, T. Will. Don't say Dominic Foxworth.
Oh wow!
Just saying.
Wow!
Chris, you don't say Chris Owens either.
Never. I was mad as hell. He had my first name.
So for cornerbacks, I'm gonna say For me, I'm gonna say Dion, D'Angelo Hall, Brent Grimes, Asante Samuel.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Even though he wasn't here long, I still like it.
And I'm gonna say Bobby Butler. Bobby Butler was one of my favorite players of my childhood. So I gotta include Bobby Butler. As far as safeties,
Eugene Robinson.
Yeah. As far as safeties are concerned, I gotta include my man Scott Case. I definitely gotta include him. One of my favorite players. Scott used to lay the wood. Oh my God, Scott would not, folks.
See, but now real question. Now, real quick. Now, I got a question because I know Scott Case was also a corner.
Okay, so this is why I told you guys ahead of time. So for Scott Case, I factored in the depth at corner there's a lot of corners who could have been in this convo. There wasn't a lot of safeties, and Scott Case had a better chance. He had a better case at making the team at safety. So he was nominee at safety.
Nominee at safety. Okay.
For safety,
so Scott Case.
For safety,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Scott Case. I want to put Jesse in there, but he's only been with us for a year.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, he stayed with us. He gonna be there though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Ray Brown for the other safety, and I can't think of a third. So that's what I got.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I put William Moore in there.
I forgot about William Moore. Willie Moe.
Willie Moe.
I forgot about Willie Moe.
So y'all ain't bought the rap album. That's what it is. That's why you forgot about Willie Moe. You ain't bought the rap album.
Oh
See
wow!
what I'm talking about?
Oh wow!
See what I'm talking about?
Oh wow!
Wow. Hey,
Wow.
but you said so. Hold on. Again, it's 5 corners or 4 corners?
Five
Five
corners, 4 safeties.
4 safeties. D'Angelo Hall, Brent Grimes, Dion, Desmond Trufant. Shoot. And I want to go Bobby Butler. I'm gonna go Bobby Butler for my number 5. I almost went Ray Buchanan, but nah. Let me see. Now,
That would be a good pick, though.
Yeah. I know, man. Big play Ray. I understand, but I was like, nah. I think I'm gonna go Bobby instead. William Moore for sure. Scott Case. Can we say Ricardo Allen? Maybe.
I thought about him. I thought about him, and he may be on there, but I didn't have the stones to do it. So I thought,
I'm gonna throw him on there, man, just to give him an honorable mention at least. Man, you said it's a 4th one. Scott Cage.
You can put Deku on there if you want to.
Absolutely not.
His drop off was so, bro. His drop off was severe.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't know. You guys can put him on there. I'm not.
You got to think too, though.
That damn Deku.
A lot of his interception was on tip passes, so it wasn't no surprise. But that I give up on the safeties.
Shoot, man, I'm going Jesse Bates. Forget it. Matter of fact, I know 3 and 4: Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. There we go. Now,
all right.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, what you got?
Nah, seriously, I don't know who the 4th one could be though. I really don't.
Randy Bradford might be on there.
It better not be Thomas Deku. I'm walking off. That's all I know.
All right.
I don't know shit else.
I just want to say.
Here it comes, Jordan.
That and this is something I told T. Will and Chris before. It was like a hint at when I was making this. I thought this team was going to go one way, and it went the other way with this position. Right. I think I guess when you look at this, think with an open mind instead of what's popular, because there's one name that's not where they should be. Okay. Okay.
So
here's the secondary for the all-time team.
Let's see what we got.
Wow.
Kennedy is on there. I feel something like I'm such a fool. What the fuck?
Wow. Oh, wow. Thomas Deku is on there. Oh, my God. Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right. So, hey, Jordan, we got to talk about Mr. Roland Lawrence and Mr. Deion Sanders, because I know there are Falcon fans out there like, man,
you can't be mad. Roland Lawrence was a turnover machine. You can't be mad at that.
Yes.
I'm not mad at it, but I'm
not mad at Roland at all. The only thing I'm tripping about is Thomas freaking Deku. Them little tip drills matter. I
tried to tell you.
I don't want to hear that shit. Smitty.
All right. So
Thomas Deku used to just irk my nerves, man. I just feel like he was just such the luckiest safety in the world to me back then. I was just like, bruh, man.
I gotta take Brent Grimes over Trufant though. I'm sorry.
I told you True was on there.
No, he was a decent corner, but Brent Grimes just had a whole different demeanor, a whole different dog in him, man.
Yeah, I like Brent Grimes a lot.
So, all right, let's break down corners.
Dang,
first.
Ray Buchanan was on there. I should have known though.
Big
should've
play,
known.
Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
play,
yeah.
Ray.
I'm just saying, Jeopardy and everything. Stats. Yeah. Hey.
When it came down to averages, Roland Lawrence it projected to today. Roland
Mhm.
Lawrence is statistically better than Deion Sanders, even on an
Yep.
average basis. So he
Mhm.
has the career accolades and the averages. Deion has the awards. That's
Yeah.
why he's even in the conversation for the number one spot. But even then, Roland Lawrence's average ranking was 1.925 out of the 10 corners that I looked at that were nominees. There were 10 corners that were nominees, and he averaged 1.925. That means he was either 1 or 2, maybe even 3 for every single category that I looked at. There is a pretty solid gap. It's not a huge gap, but solid gap between Lawrence and Deion. Deion and Buchanan are actually Deion Sanders is closer to cornerback 3 than he is cornerback 1.
Yeah, I can believe that.
There's such a small gap, very small gap. Deion's average ranking was 2.55, while Ray Buchanan's was 2.625.
See what I'm saying? Right there.
Those top 3 corners were the clear cut and obvious ones. After that, it's really close. AJ Terrell had to be on this nominee group because of what he's accomplished in the short time. The issue is he's only played a very short time, so he was ranked 10 out of the 10 corners that I looked at.
That makes sense.
Brent Grimes, a guy who I originally had on my all-time team 10 years ago. He was corner 9. And a lot of it had to do with he couldn't stay on the field that long. He has the statistical averages, he doesn't have the career numbers, and he doesn't have the awards to compete with these top guys. So he's in the convo, but he is literally corner 4 to corner 9 was really close. D'Angelo Hall, Desmond Trufant. All right, to put how close they were, D'Angelo Hall's average ranking was 4.3. Desmond Trufant's 4.375. So, I mean, if you want to put Trufant ahead of Hall, go for it. I won't argue with that. After that, guy who missed the list, T. Will, you mentioned him, Bobby Butler, very close behind.
I put Bobby in there too, man. I put Bobby in there over Ray Buchanan, and come to find out.
The other 2 corners, Ken Reeves and then Kenny Johnson. So, when it came to corners, clear cut 3 in some order. After that, good argument for everybody else. When it came down to safeties, there's a clear cut number 1.
Scott Case easily.
But it's actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. So the top 3 safeties are clear cut. As even though you might not like Deku, he has the argument, he has the case, he has the accolades, he has the playoff success. Him and William Moore. William Moore and Deku, they were so close every single time. Every single time I looked at this, one went over the other. And I ended up just going William Moore at 2, Deku at 3, and then Tom Pridemore at 4. Really close behind, which is the only real safety that had another argument. Ray Brown was an argument, but he wasn't as close as this guy, which nobody mentioned him. Keanu Neal.
Wow.
He was 5. He was really close, but he didn't make
it. Jordan, you funny. Yeah, he was really close, but he didn't make
it. Sorry, I'm harsh. I know I'll get crucified for Deion being 2. It's that short period of time he played. And
Yep, 5
also,
years.
one thing that I think people need to take out is anything he had to do with the return game, because that's a whole different other position.
Right.
And
Right.
we'll get to return specialists.
Mhm.
So any accolades, any Pro Bowls that he only made at return specialists, they got to get taken away. Any all pros that he made, got to get taken away. He led the league in something returning, got to get taken away. So, yeah, Roland Lawrence has, he's not clear cut number one. And I completely get it. I thought going into this, Deion's corner one, obviously. I'm not even gonna look at it. But that's why I have to look at it, is because maybe we're overlooking a player that
And
should
Roland
be
Lawrence
over someone
isn't
else.
even in the Hall of Fame, I don't think.
He's not.
Mhm.
And he had a very good career. He doesn't have the
Very
accolades,
good.
but he has everything else that you need.
Right.
It's always those accolades.
But let me hear your thoughts.
Oh, I said, like I said, I would have put Grimes over Trufant, but
Mhm.
hey, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, man, I really don't have a problem with any of it.
Numbers don't lie, man. But I just I would have thought Bobby Butler would have been on there. But hey, like you say, numbers don't lie.
Hey,
So all good.
I'm with you, T. Will. I went Bobby too, but hey, it's all good. How in the world do I got two? You know what? I just remembered. Dag nabbit.
All right. So here's our defense. What do you think about the defense? Is there one player that you think should have been added to this defense?
Again, I'm taking Patrick Kerner over Vic Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, with the cornerback, I'm taking Brent Grimes. That would be my only two omissions.
Well, I know T. Will probably want Devondre Campbell over Deion Jones, but unfortunately, we got to stay with Deion. He was with the team a little longer. Nah, but all jokes aside, honestly, I think I'm right there with you as far as
You guys there?
yeah, man. I
Yeah,
think
we're
I'm
there.
right there with him. I think I'm right there with you about what you said, Smitty. Yeah, Vic Beasley.
I
I
can't hear you,
understand,
guys,
but
you can hear me.
come on now.
I hear you, T-Will.
Smartphone disconnected.
You guys there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Sorry about that. My son was calling me, and I guess I got the Bluetooth on the same speaker, so it was I missed about 30 seconds of what was said, but yeah, man, all good, all good.
What you think about the defense? You changed something?
You said about the defense?
About the defense,
Oh,
you change?
if I could change it, would I change it? So for me, Bobby Butler would be in there. I'm snatching Deku's ass out, and I'll put in Ray Brown.
Ain't what you talking about.
And other than that, I'm snatching Vic Beasley's ass out. Whatever, he gotta go. Insert whoever you want in his place, but I'm not rewarding that. That was one, so I'm not doing it. He's got to go. That's just me. But yeah, that's it.
Man.
All right.
Beasley get all the hate.
Last group. We're not going to look at one specific position, but we'll look at the whole special teams.
Okay.
We'll have one kicker, one punter, two return specialists, a long snapper, and a special teamer. So the special teamer it's more of a flex position. Think about it. He could have been a gunner. He could have been an up back, some other non-kicker, punter, long snapper, return specialist position. So, who do you think's on there?
Kicker, you got to go Matt Bryant easily because
yeah.
I think Matt Bryant.
Yeah,
I think Matt Bryant just edges out Morton Anderson.
I'm going Morton Anderson. I
don't think you can go wrong with either one, though. To be honest,
I'm going Morton Anderson.
Punter is kind of tough. But I go Matt Bosher because he had a
Yeah,
strong leg and he could hit.
I'm gonna go Bosher as well.
I go
Yeah,
Matt
that
Bosher with
Bosher
the
was my
punter.
guy, and Bosher will make a tackle.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will.
Bosher will make a
I'll
tackle.
go Bosher. Yeah, I'll go Bosher. I'm okay with that.
Return specialist. I go Dion and Allen Rossum.
All right.
That's good, man. I was gonna go Allen Rossum and Eric Weems.
T.
Oh,
Will.
punt return. Wait, punt return or kick returner now?
It's both.
Return
It's
specialist.
combined into one return specialist. Two return specialists.
Okay, so Dion has got to be on that list.
Most likely.
So for me, it's got to be Dion, and I'm gonna say Allen. I'm gonna have to say Allen Rossum is the other one. I want to say Eric Metcalf and Tim Dwight, but I think Allen had the better. So I'm gonna say Allen and Dion. I'm gonna say thinking of just statistical. I'm gonna say Allen and Dion.
One of my favorite Falcon, man.
Yeah.
That used to run. I used to call him
Allen.
Gunk because that's how he used to run.
Yeah, Allen and Dion, but I'm gonna throw Eric Weems in there just as an honorable mention. I don't expect him to be there though.
Long snapper. What was the long snapper we had we got rid of a couple years ago? He was with the team about 12, 13 years. I think that was
definitely.
That's
He would
the
have
long
to have all
snapper.
the numbers. I can't think of his name, but you're right.
I'm gonna see if I can try to get his name. Cause
Special team was gonna. I got to go Elbert Shelley. When you talk about Pro Bowls for special teams, Elbert Shelley was that dude back in the day. So Elbert Shelley would be my special teams guy.
Is it only one?
Josh Harris.
Yeah, Josh Harris. Yeah, Josh Harris. That's got to be him. Is it only one special teamer?
Only one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with what Smitty said. I wanted to go with Hodge, but I don't think he's been on there. I'm gonna go with what Smitty said. I trust Smitty. I'm gonna go with what he said.
I'm gonna roll with that one too, because that's just something I don't even be thinking about. The best special teamer. Somebody who just yeah, I'm gonna go with whatever Smitty said. I'm going with that one.
Kickers need love too, Chris. Come on, Chris.
Yeah, come on.
Hey man, I'm just talking about like special teamer though. He's D'Angelo Malone. I don't know what.
Bro, in the early '90s, Elbert Shelley was the most consistent Atlanta Falcon Pro Bowler it was on special teams.
Chris is a special teamophobe. He's biased against special teams.
Hey, at least I love kickers. I don't know. At least I love my kickers.
Oh wow!
All right. Well, you guys named all of them but one.
Damn.
Well, I know. It's probably not Tim Dwight.
Devin Hester in there.
Devin Hester probably could. Oh, Cordero Patterson.
Josh Harris, Elbert Shelley, Deion Sanders.
Oh, John James. Oh, damn. No, you got me there.
Oh, no, I don't know about that one. That's
you got me there. You got me.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Albert Shelley. No, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah, that was my dude back in the day. That dude was, boy, he would knock you senseless.
So
John James?
John James.
When did John James play?
Oh, he played in the 70s, I believe.
Yeah, I'm about to say, okay.
Yeah. John James. All right, so I'll get into John James real quick. John James owns basically almost every single record in Falcons history in terms of punting. Every major record. He's got on average. He's got every average record. He's got pretty much everything. He's got the accolades. He's got everything you want in terms of being the number one punter. It wasn't even close. There's nobody else in the same realm as John James in terms of what he did for the Falcons at punter. Going to kicker, that took the longest for me. Because I knew when I was doing an all-time team, there's one stat that nobody looks at that we really should look at, and that's field goal yards. I think field goal.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because so what I did, I looked at. I'll give you the list of every kicker that I went through. I went through Morton Anderson, Matt Bryant, Younghoe Koo, Norm Johnson, and Mike Mayer. And I went and I added up
Why
all
heard
the
that name in a
field
long
goal
time.
yards on every single field goal they ever made in the regular season and the playoffs. And then I looked at how many field goal yards they had per season, how many field goals they made, the average yards per field goal they made in the regular season and the playoffs. And Morton Anderson, I thought he would have been a little better. He wasn't that great in terms of stats, but he's got all the accolades to put him in this position. Matt Bryant he has all the stats, he has accolades, he has playoff success, he's got all of that to be number one. Younghoe Koo, all right, to put this in the perspective, the average yards per field goal that Matt Bryant had in his career with Atlanta was 36.33 yards. His career high in terms of on a year that he had 10 or more field goals made was 39.85, and that was in his second to last season in 2018. So he averaged 39.85 yards per field goal. Sorry. 39. It is insane. And compared to Morton Anderson, his average over his career with Atlanta was 34.62 yards. So a 2-yard-ish difference. And his max he had was 37.76, which is 2 yards less. It's a small gap, but with as many field goals as Matt Bryant was kicking in his career, that's a lot. Younghoe Koo has the highest average of all the kickers that I looked at. He averaged 37 yards per field goal in comparison to Matt Bryant, who's 36. So right now, Younghoe Koo is on the pace to be one of the arguably the greatest kicker in Falcons history. Norm Johnson was right around what Morton Anderson did, and then Mike Mayer really wasn't even in the conversation statistically. But yeah, when it came down to kicker, I knew I wanted to do it a certain way, and that was include field goal yards because that is important. If you have two kickers who go 25 for 25 on the year, and they make all their field goals, they make all their extra points, but one plays for a team that's got 12 wins while the other has 5 wins. But the kicker who has 5 wins, their average field goal is like 50 yards, while the kicker who's on the 11-12 win team, their average is like 30 yards. That kicker who's averaging 50 yards is definitely better. It's just we'll never know that because nobody really looks at field goal yards, which is I think should be a stat. I think that's obvious. We talk about passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards. Why not kicker yards?
Right. No, for real.
I'll really quick get into the other categories. When it came to return specialists, I did the same process that I do with like quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. I looked at projected stats to this past season because that's the stats I have. Which isn't great to look at because it was one of the worst return years ever. But Deion's led the league in return yards, led the league in return touchdowns. Deion's got the accolades, he's got the awards, he's got the playoff success as a returner. He was the clear and obvious number one on averages. And Allen Ross.
I think we all knew that on this panel for real.
Yeah. And Allen Rawson was just right behind him on everything.
Yeah.
So that dude,
people sleep on Allen Rawson, man. Allen Rawson was good.
Oh yeah.
Long snapper. It didn't really take that long. He's really the longest tenured long snapper. I didn't really have to look at anything
that's
much.
why it came
Josh Harris.
And then Albert Shelley, like Smitty, like you said, he's got all the accolades. Like
Pro Bowl.
Originally I didn't have a special teamer position, but I was like, how can I not have this guy on the team? So he had on this team.
I like it. I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah, I'm fine with all these picks.
If you had to remove any of them for anything,
no.
No, honestly, shoot, heck no. Especially on this one. This one, I think this may be one of the most solid going toward the end here. For real. These guys, hey, all-time Falcons list.
Yeah. I tell you what's funny. I went to high school with Terrence Williams.
Oh, word.
So yeah, I started to pick him, but I was like, I didn't know if he had the numbers. But yeah, I went to high school with him.
So you know he mad at you now, right?
Oh, he's pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pissed, and he should be, because like we really did go to high school together, and I've seen him since then, and oh my god, he was okay. So he was like 4 years ahead of me, I think. So when I came in back then, high school was 8th through 12th. Right now they kind of split it up in middle school, but back then high school was 8th through 12th. So when I came in as an 8th grader, he was a senior.
Gotcha.
Terrence Mathis. I said Terrence Williams. Jesus. But yeah, he's gonna be pissed. He's gonna be pissed.
All right.
Won't be on
What
yet.
question do you have for this all-time Falcons team?
Hey man,
Say that
I've enjoyed this, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again, Jordan.
So what questions do you have for this Falcons all-time team?
I was pretty surprised that the interior defensive line was the weakest part of the team, because as we see the players, all the players that were named were game-changing players. But I get it as a collective and as a whole. I can understand why it's the weakest part, because you talk about Pro Bowls, you talk about accolades. Not many of them got those. We knew them as good players, but the league didn't. So
Right.
that would be the only thing.
I got something for you. Hey man, I ain't even trying to sound like this, but as far as like all-time Falcons go, man, we need to get some more players, man, because to have Vic Beasley and and Thomas J. Koo to make this list because of technicalities, because of one season, because of tip drills and stuff like that, that just goes to show you, yeah, I think our better days or our best days are ahead of us instead of behind us. Because boy,
I would agree with that. I think traditionally we have never really drafted defensive linemen well. Like I'd be very interested to see what the New York Giants, because they seem to always draft defensive linemen well, but the Falcons are the polar opposite of that, and we've just never valued defensive linemen. And looking at this list, and again, no disrespect to any of my Falcons. I love my Falcons. You guys know how I feel, but it just seems like that has never been a priority, which is, again, one of the reasons why this year I am so excited for this team, because defensive line was at a premium. It was a priority. You could clearly see that they've gone all out. And I think what they have done will culminate in success. And, I saw somebody predict 62 sacks the other day. I'm not going that far, but I will say we get at least 50. I'm gonna go 52. I will throw that out there. Yeah, I'll throw that out there. So that's my takeaway.
You'll be making another list in about 5 years, because Jesse Bates is gonna be on that list next time.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. 1,000%.
He was a nominee. He was a nominee because he had the Pro Bowl. Anyone who I want to specify this. Anyone who made a Pro Bowl, made an All-Pro, made some sort of award, led the league in some sort of stat, or was like top 20 statistically in any major category. And when I talk about any major category, for passing, for example, completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns, that's it. Nothing else. No passer rating. I have a whole article written on why passer rating is not a legit stat. Rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, nothing else. You were a nominee for this. You were considered for that position. And if I have to look way down the list for you, do you really even deserve the spot? So there was a return specialist. I will say this. I've researched return specialists for all-time teams. Falcons underratedly have, if that's even a word, have one of the greatest return specialist groups of all time. When you consider Deion Sanders, Allen Rossum. Allen Rossum is statistically your all-time leader in return yards in every major category. Dion,
Right.
Devin Hester, Cordarrelle Patterson. I mean, Billy White Shoes Johnson, who should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame because he's on the
Right.
75th and 100th anniversary teams.
Right.
The list was huge when I was going through it. I'm like, all right, well, this I figure I'll have a couple names. Nope, it was not like that. It was a lot deeper of a process than I think it was for tight end, interior defensive line, or even linebacker. And it's not saying that they were better than the linebackers. It's just there was more players to choose from that were some of the best in the league in all time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
I definitely understand it.
I will say, I'll go back to this. I want to go back to the defense really quick. So when I look at these all-time teams, I think about like, all right, what would I do if I'm a coach, schematically speaking? Because you could run a 3-4, 4-3. You could run a 4-2. You could run dime packages mostly. But if I'm looking at this group, I see two great edge rushers. I don't see a very deep interior defensive line. And I see a lot of great linebackers. I feel like you need Jesse Tuggle and Novus to be on the field at all times. You need Humphrey and Abraham to be on the field at all times. Are you running a 3-4 or a 4-3 or maybe something else? What do you guys think?
I would say 4-3 because you got Abraham and Humphrey on the edge on the 4-3, and you got Jared and Hall in the middle. And like you said, 3 linebackers on the field. Brooking, he turned into an extra defensive back really because he could cover. So could Dion Jr. You need him to come in. You look at Roland Lawrence and Dion, 2 of the better cover corners in the league. They would be, and then you have Scott Case who could play in the box. Yeah, and then your third
I put Ray in the slot.
Would be Ray Buchanan in the nickel. So yeah, I would definitely run a 4-3.
My only question is, with today's rules, would Scott make it out of the first half? Because he'd be laying. You know what I mean? It's like, so I mean,
Scott would have to take a little bit off of it. He would, but I think he's a smart player. He'd be able to adjust.
They would have to pay him extra just so he could pay his fine.
There you go.
Scott,
there you go.
Man, Scott was laying folk out, man. Golly. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I agree with what you guys said. I just still I'm snatching Thomas Deku's ass off there, and
definitely.
Vic, you gotta let that go.
I will not let it go.
It's gone.
Oh, I will not let it go. And you know what? Vic is not dressing. Okay, he might be on it. He's not dressing.
He's not dressing.
Street clothes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So Anthony
Could
Davis.
you imagine Abraham and Humphrey on the field at the same time? That would be crazy.
That's crazy.
I wish I could. I wish I could make that happen, but it's all good.
So Jordan, do you? Yeah, I have a question for you. Do you? Yeah. In baseball, there is a stat that is wins above replacement. Is there anything that exists like that in football? And for those who don't know what wins above replacement is, it's exactly that. How many wins do you contribute to or take away from it? It's a stat. So, for example, in baseball, if you are a 10-WAR player in a season, that means that you help them win 10 games. Which is a great player. And I'm sorry, Jordan. I just wanted to explain it. But does anything like that exist in the NFL currently today?
No, you're fine. There isn't. And it would be hard in football. It'd be very easy to do that in basketball, hockey, baseball, because there's less. Like one player can contribute heavily to your success, versus, all right, take for example when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, our left tackle Jason Peters was out for the season. He got hurt later on in the season. Same thing with Carson Wentz. He got hurt. But the team was still great before their injuries. And after their injuries, the team still was great and ended up going and winning the Super Bowl. So it'd be very hard to use that for certain players to determine, like, all right, could this player be good or not? It'd probably be more beneficial saying this out loud to quarterbacks. But I don't want to give ESPN the right idea because I don't want to see that stat on every single quarterback I look at. Because they would just overuse that so much.
As they are right now, man.
Yeah. But it's kind of like what I was saying about passer rating. All right, I'm going to say this out loud to anyone watching. I want you to Google the calculation for quarterback passer rating. You can choose the ESPN one, or you can do the official NFL one. The official NFL one that goes to 158.3, or the ESPN one goes to 100 or something like that. It is so random, some of the numbers that are integrated into this calculation, that you could make any quarterback good all time if you swapped out multiply by 7 with 6 instead. So I will never, if you'll never hear me talk about passer rating when I'm talking about quarterbacks. I will never ever. I've tried to come up with my own quarterback passer rating calculation. I mean, I attempted it a couple times. I haven't really looked into it in years, but it's the most randomly put together statistic that I don't even consider it a statistic. Please, just everybody listening, everybody spread the word.
Just me.
Passer rating sucks, and nobody should ever use it because
I ain't never really understood. Really, I mean, what is the point?
Exactly, it's an efficiency rating.
Yeah, efficiency rating.
That's bogus, saying it's an efficiency rating. So, and look, anyone listening and their arguments probably like, have you actually done the calculation? I've looked at this calculation. I wrote an essay in high school and college on why passer rating shouldn't be a statistic, because it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. It makes quarterbacks like Johnny Unitas look terrible. But when you do something what I do with projected stats, I am using what we already know from when Unitas was playing, for example, and what we already know for the 2023 season in terms of what quarterbacks can do, and just determining mathematically on a percentage-based scale what those players would do in today's NFL, which is how I get the projected stats.
Right, because honestly, Troy Aikman was sucking today's NFL.
Listen,
whoa,
man, listen. I ain't gonna lie to you. Troy,
hey, I'm just saying.
Troy had a team, man. Let's just be honest. Troy had a team, though.
Hold on, I excuse me. I'm choking on that bullshit that
I agree. I agree with you.
I'm choking on all of this bullshit. Hold on. Oh,
no, I'm just saying Troy Aikman was a 60% career completion percentage. He wasn't really a good quarterback. He had Irvin and Emmitt Smith to carry him and a strong offensive line. As I've been talking about since I was 16 years old. You give Barry Sanders that team what Dallas had behind that offensive line.
I'm tell you,
they probably win 5-6 Super Bowls in a row.
Are you gonna blame the man for the system that he played in? I mean, he only
my thing is, Terry, I ain't gonna lie. We could have put anybody on this panel. Anybody on this panel, I feel like could have played behind that team, man.
Oh, wow! You guys are really being. I'm not even a Cowboys fan.
How many times did he throw for 3,000 yards in the season?
Just saying, man.
You said 3,000?
When we're talking about elite quarterbacks, have you ever noticed that Troy Aikman's name is never mentioned?
I wouldn't call him elite, but I'm not going to call him garbage. I mean, y'all are
I ain't
like,
never call him garbage. I didn't
I
call
didn't say
him
he was
garbage.
garbage. I just said he couldn't play in today's NFL.
Smitty. I mean, it's almost like you're comparing him to Heineke. Like, damn,
No.
dude.
We know
Come
now.
on,
Come
man.
on now. We know Troy Aikman was
Whoa.
better than Taylor Heineke.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Aikman could have played in today's era if
Thank
he was
you.
if he was playing on the 49ers.
Damn.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You bet not.
That backhanded compliment you just slapped me with, Jordan. My face is sore. Oh God.
Can you imagine Troy Aikman playing for the Saints? It may be actually about the same though.
But I'm gonna put it like
Think
this,
about
bro.
that. Derek Carr, Troy
I'm gonna put
Aikman.
it like this. Remember what Dallas had in the early 90s, and remember what San Francisco had in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah,
Both offenses were built bothly similar.
Yeah, that Dallas
Joe
offensive
Montana,
line was
Joe
second
Montana
to
could
none.
carry a team. Troy
Yeah.
Aikman couldn't. I don't see Troy Aikman doing that. That is my only gripe with him. I never see him carry the Cowboys to a win. Never.
Hey.
He had a solid career, but being one of those quarterbacks in crunch time, I just never saw that out of Aikman.
So guys, this brings up another question, right? This really brings up another question. So
Let's not turn this into a cowboy conversation.
No, I'm not. Smitty 11K, who I love and respect. Well, I love and respect all of y'all, but Smitty 11K, you say bump that. Aikman could not play in today's league. Trade his ass for a case of beer. Okay, He wouldn't
be an elite quarterback.
That's not what you said. You said he couldn't play. You said he was
an elite quarterback.
Heineke 2.0. Jordan, you say you gonna trade him for a Taco Bell meal and some damn chips. That's what you doing with him. All right, Jordan, you say that he could play if he had a coordinator like Kyle Shanahan, right?
Well, all right. In either a coordinator like Shanahan, but more the weapons that the Niners or the Eagles have.
Okay.
Then yeah. I'm sure any quarterback could play.
Wow, man. Well, okay. That's bro.
Again, if we talking about numbers, go look at his numbers. He was not an elite quarterback.
I'm not saying he was elite. I'm not looking.
Okay. Hold on.
I'm not saying he was elite.
The man was 94 and 71. He had 61.5 completion percentage. He had over, 32,000 yards, 165 touchdowns, 141 interceptions.
His ratio
I think I can get back there and do those numbers, bro. I'm sorry.
Man, y'all are being mad disrespectful right now. Ooh, wee. Wow. You know what?
I'm telling you, he would not be an elite quarterback.
So what you're saying is, right? To kind of interpret what you're saying we could take Desmond Ridder back in time and put him behind that Cowboys defensive line. And then that's what you did. That's what Chris said. That's what Chris said. Yeah, you did. You said, man, I feel like I can do it. I feel like any one of them.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like did you see last season? I feel like I can get out there and do a little better than what Desmond did right there. Because one thing about it, I ain't gonna turn the ball over. I may just tuck and run. I may just tuck and run.
I will say, I have my spreadsheet for projected stats for all the Cowboys quarterbacks. And if you projected every quarterback, if they were playing in 2023, Aikman has a good completion percentage, but his less touchdowns passes than Dak Prescott. He would have he'd be second all time in passing yards, but he doesn't have that many touchdowns. He's got a high completion percentage. What that sounds to me like is he would complete all his passes to his golden weapons that he was surrounded by, But when it came to scoring, there was some guy named Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm saying, just some guy. Don't know who he was.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Just says this. Come on, man.
Woo! Yeah.
Okay. Let me put this.
Funny.
Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. I gotta see if I can do this just for my boy T Will. Cause I love my boy T Will, boy. I love my man.
I love
T.
you
Will.
back, brother. Hey,
But,
who's
so
the guy that fixes the lights? Hey, we need you to win a game. Troy's hurt. Come back here. Yeah, all you gotta do is hand the ball off and throw it to Michael Irvin. You're good.
That's all you gotta do.
That's all you gotta do.
We got a defense that's gonna back you up. All right, so check this out. All right, I put in Troy Aikman's numbers versus Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr is going to be higher. I guarantee. Look at it. I guarantee.
Yep.
It's
First
a
of all,
different league.
Derek Carr. I don't want to hear that.
That's why
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. 165 games total for Troy Aikman. Derek Carr has 159 right now. The record, Troy Aikman does have the better record. Of course he does.
Obviously.
He does the completion percentage. Derek Carr. Passing yards. Carr. Averages. Touchdown. All Carr. Carr also has less interceptions.
Raider legend.
He also has less interceptions than Troy Aikman.
Raider legend.
Troy Aikman has 141, and Derek Carr has 107 interceptions. The only thing that Aikman does better than Derek Carr was rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. And Derek Carr, if he get 4 rushing touchdowns this year, he'll pass Troy Aikman there too.
Wow.
He was.
And we ain't got to talk about honors and awards. We know already what that's about.
All right.
But I'm just saying.
Let's also add in the fact that Aikman is one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks at handing the ball off to the running back.
Bro, I wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, he fired me up that time, but I wasn't expecting him to say that. It's the all-time greatest quarterback to hand the ball over. Couldn't nobody hand the ball to the running back like Troy. That's what he's saying. Good. Boy. All right, y'all.
Imagine what Barry Sanders could have done if he had Troy Aikman handing the ball off to him.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow.
Everybody could have moved mountains, baby.
Hey.
Hey, guys, man. This has been excellent, man. I ain't gonna lie. This has been so much fun.
Y'all have given me a headache. Guys. Oh my God. Y'all have given me a headache. Okay.
Hey, T Will, man.
Nah. T Will, whether y'all know it or not, T Will about to get off of this thing. T Will gonna have a video in the morning about Troy Aikman. And he gonna add us and everything. Let me show y'all what.
Let me tell y'all what Smitty said last
night. And Chris ain't no better. He was in there with him, and then they had their little friend, their little Saint friend. He gonna try to put us on it like that. He gonna say, yeah. Then they got their little Saints friend in there. Yes, their friend.
I'm gonna send it to every Cowboys fan I know.
It is what it is.
I got a cousin. I got a cousin who's a Cowboys fan. As soon as we get off this video, I'm sending it to him just to see what he says.
Don't you give him my number. I ain't got time to be blocking folks.
Hey, you can send him my way. You know I ain't gonna run.
Oh wow!
I said it again.
Right.
I said it again.
You're right. All I'm gonna say is, hey man, you seen the video, man. We ain't gotta do all that back and forth. I ain't good at that.
Right.
I'm telling you, one thing I've learned about Jordan. Jordan is the king of backhanded compliments. He is the Jedi Knight. He is the master Yoda. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. The way he set that up was beautiful. He was like, one thing that Troy really excels at. I mean, he's really good at it. I've gone and I've checked the numbers. He hands the ball off better than anybody I've ever seen. Like Damn, he set that up beautiful.
Unmatched. He
Boy,
said my man is unmatched.
I'm telling you, Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, they cashed in big on Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith carried that team all 3 Super Bowls.
So now you saying Michael Irvin couldn't play in today's league as well?
No.
Damn.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
I can't do Irv like that, but
I can't. No, he was physical, man.
I can't do Irv.
I just feel like Emmitt Smith was the corporate and winning those 3 Super Bowls.
Jordan, you're mighty quiet. You got something to say about Irvin too? What's up? How we feeling about it?
No, I met Michael Irvin at the Eagles Giants game Thursday Night Football right around Christmas. I don't remember what year it was.
Cool.
Right around when Eagles and Giants were doing color rush uniforms. The Giants were wearing their throwback, and I remember walking into the link, and I'm just looking around, and I'm looking down at my phone, and then there's like a shadow that like it was like an eclipse happened. And then I looked up and it's Michael Irvin. and it's Michael. He's huge. And I turn around as soon as I turn around, Steve Mariucci's to my right, Rich Eisen's to my left, and I'm like, oh hi. I was like, are you guys going to the set? He's like, yeah, I got on TV that day. No, Michael Irvin was he's not gonna have the numbers. He'll have playoff numbers, right? He's not gonna have the regular season numbers. His career got cut short. I'm not gonna like laugh at him like other Eagles fans used to do in the 90s when he got hurt. But he definitely was. He lived up to his name. He was a playmaker. He is one of. I won't say like I won't put him in the conversation for the greatest receiver ever. But he's definitely an all-time great receiver, and the Cowboys definitely wouldn't have been as successful without him.
Yeah.
Aikman, on the other hand.
Somebody does not like
Aikman, on the other hand.
I mean,
you should hear me talk about Tony Romo.
Wow.
Boy.
Wow. You know what? If Tony Romo doesn't trip, I think his career track changes. If he doesn't trip in that playoff game, I think they win. And it's amazing, man. It's a game of inches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if he don't have that game to where the Panthers came out there with the all icy blue jerseys, wearing his boy. Listen.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy game. I remember that. I think that was a thing.
Wearing them out.
Yeah.
It's a game of inches, man. If Kyle kicks that field goal with the Falcons, just think of how history is changed, right? We probably don't get Arthur Smith. Maybe we end up getting Raheem. Maybe we end up getting somebody else. But we probably end up not getting Arthur Smith because I think any Falcons coach that wins a Super Bowl just earned himself 5-6 years. I mean, we've never won a Super Bowl before. So if you do, number one, you're not going to pay for a meal ever in Atlanta. And I mean,
right.
4 years from now, your meals are free. Your utilities might be free for a while. But, you know, I mean, it's just a little thing. If he just kicks that field goal, it's 4 minutes left. If he kicks that field goal, that is a 2-possession lead. And I don't think even our defense could have given that up in that time frame. So it's the little things, man. It's the little things. But
really quickly, in terms getting back to the Falcons all-time team. Imagine this Falcons all-time offense. Matt Ryan, Michael Turner, Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez. Oh wait.
Yeah, I already had them.
Oh wait.
Together. Yeah.
That's why I was just looking like this. I seen the setup. Yeah. See, I know your tricks now. I know your tricks.
All right, I'll take one shot. This team would still have no rings. That's my only shot. And it goes quiet.
I mean, hey man, you know what? You're doing good just to do the podcast, bro. You deserve a shot. It's all good.
You both
Just
wearing a
one.
Falcon jersey and being a
I mean,
Saints fan.
bro, you've gone way beyond what I would do. So, hey man, you deserve a shot.
I gotta go with the theme. Like if I got a Panthers Julius Peppers jersey. If I was in a Panthers podcast or anything, I'd be wearing a Panthers jersey. The only jersey I refuse to wear is a Cowboys jersey. You will never pay me to wear a Cowboys jersey. I want to repeat that. Bill Gates, any rich person ever, a billionaire is out there. If you want to pay me $1 billion, maybe I'll consider it. But otherwise,
you hate the Cowboys that bad?
Oh, absolutely. I hate the Cowboys more than anything.
Yeah, I
Man, I hate the Cowboys more than any team. We can agree on that, though. I don't like Cowboys either.
Question for the panel. So Chris and Smitty, to Jordan's point, Bill Gates comes to you and says, "I'll give you $1 billion to put on a Saints jersey and be seen doing it." Are you doing it?
Nope.
You're gonna lose some friends. Are you doing it?
$1 billion?
$1 billion with a B.
Because I love what I do, so I wouldn't do that.
You can still do what you're doing.
It will be hard though, man. The thing about it is, man,
you might get beat up walking in the stadium.
Right, bro. Like now take some of them billions and get this, doctors, you know what I'm saying? Nope. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You traitor. You sold for the money.
Get that $1 billion, get top of the line security.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you sold. Regardless, you sold. And everybody know that you sold.
Let's be real. Let's be real. $1 billion, not $1 million. $1 billion. You never have to worry about anything in your life. I'm just asking.
Okay, let me ask you this. What price do you put on respect? Let me ask you that.
I would say $1 billion. I would say right at $1 billion. I'm just kidding.
And I ain't got nothing else to say.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I would do it behind closed doors. Nobody would have to know. It's okay.
Where is Eric Parker? Where is Eric Parker? That man said $1 billion.
You're telling me you wouldn't do it, and then afterwards say, "Oh, that was photoshopped."
I'm not telling you I wouldn't do anything. I think I'm the only one on this panel.
Jordan. I thought about the Photoshop thing, Jordan. But you know it's gonna be somebody that's gonna come out with some footage like it wasn't no damn me. I got the proof right here.
The bad part about it, if you get beat up at the front door, T. Will just gonna walk right past it. Damn,
past it.
Oh wow, I would not.
You're like Iverson did. T. Will.
Like Iverson did. T. Lou. Now hold on. Y'all know I have love for y'all. I would not do that. But I'm just being honest. That's a tough. I mean, $1 billion with a B.
I told you.
Like y'all can talk that treasure. $1 billion.
But you got to understand. Once somebody judge you about certain things, it never goes away.
It never goes away.
It never be seen in public.
Let me be real. Okay, $1 billion. Does it matter? Does it matter what they judge me? I could buy my own box. I can have security walking with me, and I'll probably need it. But I can have my security walking with me into the game. I'm good.
I'm saying is you better take some of that $1 billion and create a business so you can keep on cycling the money for that security you're gonna have to pay for year round, year after year for the rest of your life.
What if it's like? What if you're wearing a Morton Anderson Saints jersey? Yeah, Falcons and Saints.
That's not gonna matter. They're not gonna care.
That ain't gonna matter.
They're not gonna care.
Nah. It just that hatred is just a little bit too much. That's I don't know. It's just like okay, all right, Jordan. That's just like me telling you go ahead and throw on a Curtis Lofton Falcon jersey.
All right, okay. And be like,
ask him to wear a Michael Irvin jersey. Like that's different. And be But
I got a
would you
Michael
be?
Irvin jersey.
But
You
Yeah, I
would
got
was
you
about
be
to say you
seen
picked the
in
wrong
it?
person. You had to say Troy Aikman.
Would you be seen in it though? Like you have it, but would you be seen in public with it?
by
No,
getting $1 billion. $1 billion.
I'm just asking.
no.
I
I'd
look.
be able. That's
I can
like
admit I'm conflicted right now. Okay, and my
We-
love for my
We're
Falcons
we're
runs
going
deep.
to talk more about this off the air. I can already see that. This
I'm
this don't turn
saying,
into from the Falcons
we
all
are
time
talking
team
about
to
a
whether we
billion with a B.
wearing something
Bro.
that we don't want to
The
wear
only
for $1
way,
billion.
the only way that I would do it is
Uh-huh.
if I lost the bet and everybody knew that I lost that bet.
Yeah,
I would
yeah. I
have to
mean,
do. I
No.
would have to honor that bet. But other than that, just to do it, no.
So here's the cover story, Jordan. He would put it out there that there was a bet ahead of time, right? And then so that okay, so that's the loophole.
And
Got it. Okay.
ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen, I
All
present
right.
to you the angle.
Right. Right. No, I mean, man, I love my Falcons, but a
He
billion?
said, "Bro, I'm taking that money." He said, "Bro, I'm
A
feeling." He
billion
said,
with
"I'm
a
gonna take
B?
that billion." He said, "I'm gonna take that billion and be sitting next to Arthur." What you talking about?
Bro, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. I mean, my wife loves me now, but shit, she would love me more. God dang it, boy! Can you, man? Let me tell you something. Woo wee! I'm just saying. I'm not saying I would do it, okay? Because I don't have the stones to admit that shit on this post. But I would really have to think about it. Like it would be a crisis of conscience. Like I would have to pray and I don't know. I might have to call my brother and be like, "Hey, man, I love you, but I'm gonna ask you for forgiveness ahead of time, okay? Because you might not speak to me like for a couple of years, but just know the cover story is I lost a bet, okay? So you shouldn't get any flack from it. You know, we're gonna put it out there that I lost the bet, but
And
this $1 billion.
people gonna remember on August 29th. This live right here. You ain't gonna be able to fool nobody, y'all.
Bruh, I'll be like, "Hey, man, I'll throw you 10 million in. You good? You all right?" And I got a feeling. I mean, this is hypothetical, bro. This is hypothetical. First off, this shit's never gonna happen.
I mean,
Okay.
first and foremost,
It's not gonna happen.
Are you sure? John Cena follows me on Twitter. Some look, he knows people. I mean,
Bro.
you never know.
Bro,
John Cena.
I'm just look at Jordan hyping this shit up. Look at him just stirring it, stirring it.
That's all.
This is
You
getting
said what?
streamed to X, and John Cena follows us on X.
Oh wow, bro.
So I'm sure John Cena knows a guy who knows a guy who's a billionaire. So hypothetical is gonna actually happen.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but I tell you what, man, it would be a crisis of conscience. Like I probably would lose weight behind that decision. It would be some sleepless nights.
Man,
And Lord forbid if my wife found out about it, because you know, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying, you know. So let me get this right, T Will. He's offering you $1 billion. Okay? $1 billion for one time to put this on. And you not like that would introduce some conflict. I don't know that my marriage is ready for. And we've been married for 31 years. $1 billion with a B? Y'all not keeping it real, man. Y'all not keeping it real. Because
I think once they see
money don't make everybody happy.
Once they see
you just not. Let me hold on one sec, Jordan. Let me deal with this, okay? Because this is a misnomer. The person that says money won't make you happy is just not trying hard enough. Damn it! Nobody respects a quarter, Smitty. You're just not trying. You're just not trying hard enough. Okay, whatever. $1 billion? Shit. Let me tell you something. I'm really upset that this happened. I think I'll go buy a car and work out my grief. It'll be okay. You know what? Let me take this trip to Monaco. Okay. And yeah, me and Kim And you know, I'm just saying. So I'm kidding.
so
I'm
emotional.
kidding.
Let me wipe my tears with the $100 bills.
Oh wow! Oh
Real
I got
though.
100s and
You gonna be living with that kind of money. You gonna be living like Coming to America. They're gonna be wiping your face,
that's
taking
$1
your
billion.
bath, and everything.
Bro,
Oh.
I would be on a. First off, I would be on an island. Okay. Wait, who is that? Kim, is that you? Hey, Kim, let me ask you a question. You're not gonna be on camera, but I need you to come in here so they can hear you. America is watching, Kim. Come on, come on, Kim.
John Cena is watching.
John Cena is watching, Kim. Okay, and Chris is. Look at Chris's face.
Oh, boy,
What is going on with Chris? What's going on with Chris right now?
Man, I
Kim,
don't
You gonna be
start looking
sleeping
at
on the
the,
sofa
I
when
don't
you say
start
the
looking
wrong
up some
thing.
stuff.
no, they need to hear you, Kim. Come on.
Okay, I'll talk loud.
Okay, so Kim, you know I'm a Falcons fan, right?
No, I didn't know.
Stop being sarcastic, okay? America doesn't know you,
What you
Kim.
said? You
Stop
said he
it.
a Bucks fan.
Saints
I
fan.
did not say that.
No,
So you know,
I knew it. I can see it in your eyes.
oh my God, Kim, you know I'm a Falcons fan, right?
Die hard, die hard.
All right, so Kim, let me ask you this question. We've been married for 31 years, right?
Yes, sir.
You love me and I love you, right?
Yes.
All right. If Bill Gates offered me $1 billion to violate the most sacred Falcons code and put on a Saints jersey for like 10 minutes and be seen by America, are you going to be pissed at me if I don't do it? America, you heard it. She's going to be. How long are you going to be pissed at me, Kim?
She said, "Get it done."
For the rest of our marriage. So there you go, America. Okay, there will be pressure. This is a crisis of conscience that I would go through. It is not as cut and dry as people think it is. Okay, because when I got married, the preacher said, "Above all others." Okay, I will put my wife above all others.
Man.
So I'm just saying, it's a crisis of conscience. I'm not saying if I would do it because I don't have the balls to admit that on national TV. I don't have the stones to admit that. But damn it, I would think about it.
If they already have the check written out for you, then that's when it'll hit you like, oh, maybe I should do this. I'm just saying, saying it right now. We don't. This is a hypothetical scenario. But Bill Gates right in
money right in your face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bill Gates is like, you want me to sign this check? Then you'll be
billion.
like, oh, I don't know.
With a B. With a B, boys.
Yeah,
with
you had
a
that kind of
B.
money.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that kind of money. You can walk through the back door. You wouldn't even have to walk through the front.
Damn.
Go to every game, to every single major sport in your area for the rest of your life. Like that would be amazing. I would do it in a heartbeat. I know.
Jordan says he would do it in a heartbeat, Kim. You would put on your Cowboys jersey in a heartbeat? Is that what you're saying?
If I was given $1 billion to wear a rival jersey, whether that's the Cowboys or the Yankees or Ohio State, yeah. It's
Kim Jordan is saying he would do it.
Interesting.
Hey Kim, you know who said they wouldn't do it? Smitty 11K and Chris A1. My homies, they said, Kim, that I'm a traitor for even thinking about it. That's what they said. I'm not gonna tell them that, Kim, because they're my friends. But
we heard her anyway.
Right. Right. Yeah, everybody got quiet as soon as she started talking. What she got to say?
My ear was like this.
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh wow. Oh, you guys have given me a headache, man. Jesus. Wow.
Oh man.
And this thing right here loud and clear. I heard a baby coming down the hallway.
Bro, we talking about $1 billion. $1 billion with a B, fellas. Do you know what you Kim? If I win $1 billion, what's the first thing you buying? If I win $1 billion, what's the first thing you're buying? America's waiting, Kim. You got to speak up. America can't hear you.
America trying to figure out how in the world we went from the Falcons to turn into billionaires.
America would do the same
I
thing.
told you,
Jordan, Jordan, where's the chat, Jordan? Because you should ask your loyal subscribers in the chat if they would do it.
Now you see what kind of problem Troy Aikman brain this shit when it started.
See what I'm saying? It all started from that.
Oh wow!
We both been gone 20 minutes ago.
Oh wow! You guys have given me the biggest headache. I'm just saying. No, you should put that out to the chat, man. Like honestly, like would you do it for $1 billion? And I promise you, at least 90% of folks would say yes.
I'm gonna put it in my community tomorrow.
We need to put it. Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm about to say we need to put it on Twitter and ask them on Twitter.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? And I understand it. Okay, $1 billion.
Do them with brain problems.
$1 billion, bro. You could buy your own island. Okay, you could buy your own island.
More money, more problems, dog.
Shit.
I be doing my show from a remote location.
What problem? What problem you talking about? I'm living on an island.
I be doing my show from inside the Benz. That kind of money.
Hey, I'm living on an island. I don't have those problems. Okay, who gonna come see me on an island? Nobody. I'm good. I am good.
You'd be surprised how far a person will roll they boat.
Chris, you didn't believe that shit when you said it.
I
didn't believe that shit when you
said it. You just don't understand, man. Nobody really want to get you, man.
You can cruise across the water in a yacht with $1 billion.
T. Will ain't never had nobody that really just wanted to get to him. That's all.
I'm a nice guy. Like, I don't have enemies. I don't live that kind of life. I'm a nice dude.
Never said, man.
I'm occasionally funny, right? So, occasionally. I'm just saying. And, I got $1 billion. I'm sure my security system is going to be top notch. Shit, I'm going to have facial recognition. I'm going to have motion detectors out the wazoo. I'm going to be able to look at you and run a credit check. Oh, I don't even like him.
No, you want to know the problem with that going to be, T. Will?
With that kind of money,
you ready for the problem for that? It's going to be funny when it's going to be another guy that got $1 billion and he hire a kid for $20 an hour that come crack your shit. Somebody over there in Thailand right now. Tap. Next thing you know, all your doors open. All right, keep playing. Keep on playing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That stupid rich. I wouldn't nobody find me. I'd be somewhere isolated.
Thank you.
I'd be in the city. I'd have I don't know. I would get a Camaro. That's it. I'd buy a house, get a Camaro, call it a day.
So I'm not gonna lie, man. I'd buy a nice house in a very exclusive community. Even though it's a waste of money, my wife loves the Range Rovers, even though they are terrible. They're terrible. But $1 billion, I'm rich. I can afford it. So I would buy her that.
Yeah, you could buy 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, I'd buy her that
for every day of the week.
I don't know that I'd go that far, but I'd buy her that. I'd buy me that Bentley GT. Oh shit, I love the Bentley GT.
Just think about $1
billion. That's a gas guzzler.
How much is one Range Rover? How much is like roughly?
Anywhere from 70 to 200,000 because the biography is 200,000.
All right, 200,000 times 7. That's 1.4 million. So
and that's chump change.
Out of $1 billion. Yeah, just
chump change.
Buy her one for every day of the week.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. The first thing I'm going to go do is I'll probably try to see about buying like an apartment complex. None of them little rinky, something downtown, midtown, north side. You know, so any of that stuff, I'm buying something like that. If I can't buy one, I'm gonna have it built. Same thing for a hotel, and I'm going and I'm gonna go from there.
I buy stock in the Falcons so I can get in that front office.
You know what I would buy?
You
know
ain't
what
gonna
I
get
would
rid
buy?
of Greg Beatles, is you?
You know,
kick his head right on out the door.
You know what I would buy? I would buy stock in Google so we can snatch Thomas J. Cool.
Right off Google.
We can snatch
That's
his
all
ass
good
right
stuff.
off.
Right off Google. Yeah, man, Vic. We're gonna take that season. They're gonna be looking for that season. We're gonna take it away.
What did he do to you? What did he do to you?
We're gonna rewrite his stats so that will never happen again.
I don't want to get that. You know what? I don't want to get that ability to you because you gonna inflate Troy Aikman. I'm good. Nope, we're not doing it. He's gonna inflate the heck out of Troy Aikman. Nope.
Man, I don't have any skin in the game with Troy. It's just, I just thought y'all's comment was a little disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Man, I understand 3 Super Bowl, but let's be real.
He's
Without
a Hall
any
of
depth in
Famer.
the offensive line, he would not be Troy Aikman, the Hall of Fame quarterback.
I mean, but you could say that about Terry Bradshaw. You could say that about.
Oh yeah.
Wait. I'm just saying. Okay,
Terry Bradshaw, one of the most underrated, overrated quarterbacks of all time.
Man,
He is a luxury brand Trent Dilfer.
Ooh,
Man, that is cold, man. And plus, he's very. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's very funny. Okay, so whatever.
Oh, yeah, he's funny. Yeah,
he's funny. I saw him at a motivational speaker conference, whatever, and he was on there, man, and he was hilarious. I love that dude. I mean, no, he's not elite, okay, but he was what that team needed, right? He was what that team needed to win. I don't subscribe to the theory that you can just throw anybody in there and they win because, again, quarterback, you have to lead. It's not like, oh, we're just gonna snap. And I don't agree with that. You have to have a connection with your guys. Now, is he an elite quarterback? No, but you got to be what your team needs you to be. So I'm just saying, man. Troy Aikman is a Hall of Famer. Terry Bradshaw is a Hall of Famer. Say what you. Even Trent Dilfer has a ring. Now, granted, I mean, he probably was the greatest.
I think that's kind of Smitty's point.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there have been great defensive teams that didn't win a Super Bowl. Because look, let's be real. Even our Atlanta Falcons, I bet you we would have won with Terry Bradshaw. I bet you we would have won with Troy Aikman. Last year, I bet you we would have won with them. So, hey, whatever.
No, we wouldn't have because we still had Arthur Smith as our coach. We wouldn't have won with them.
Shots fired. Damn.
You think Troy Aikman's gonna do read options? He's just gonna do what he. No, he's gonna do what he does best: hand the ball off.
Hand it off to Bajan.
Jordan, a very wise man once told me that if Troy came up in this time, then he would adapt to the times, to the play. A very wise man once told me that. You know what I mean? I think his initials are JB, but I'm just saying. So
a wise man too.
And
wise about that ball. No.
And this wise man also said that statistically he wouldn't improve all that much.
Oh,
and
wow.
He'd probably be around the same dude that he was then. He'd have a higher completion percentage. That's about it, and more yards per game. But
do I need to read Derek Carr's numbers again?
Is Derek Carr Desmond Ridder? No, he is not. So thank you. Okay.
Hey, it's still Derek Carr. All right, you know what? Just for you, I may look up David Carr. So let me look up David Carr.
Oh, wow.
Don't go that far.
You might have crossed the line.
Oh, wow. Oh, I did not know my brother Chris was so bad.
He do got a Super Bowl ring. He does have a Super Bowl ring.
See if I can put this thing together
ring
for my man.
Wow. Oh man.
No, man, but jokes aside, though, man, Hey man, this has been great again, man. I'm glad Jordan, put this together, unbiased again, because he's not a Falcon fan. It was
Yeah.
beautiful, and I'm happy that we did this seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
All
ups to
right.
Jordan for putting this together, man. Definitely.
Thank you,
Definitely.
guys.
You got to do the Cowboys next because you said that we've been talking Cowboys, so you got to do the Cowboys
And
next.
and, and please have T.
Oh.
Will on the panel.
I need motivation. I need motivation to do a team. That's not going to motivate me to do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am thinking about what team to do next. I don't know. When I started talking to Chris about doing streams with him, that's when I got motivation. I was like, oh, I should do a Falcons all-time team. That would be something cool to talk about. And finally, we're here like a couple months later. So thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you guys for being here.
No doubt.
Really quick, shout out again to wherever you guys want these guys to go follow you at. T. Will, you're up.
All right, I can be reached like it's an office. You guys can see me at For My ATL Sports 1. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Hey Jordan, you know that was some bullshit about Troy, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You understand that, right? Okay, we got to talk off camera. Okay, all right, thanks. No,
right.
you can find me at For My ATL Sports 1.
I'm on three-way trust up.
You guys would not let me finish. Y'all know once I start laughing, I can't stop.
Moments.
It's like rotisserie.
I gotta.
On my email right now. I am a Falcon fan. I think.
Oh my god. Oh, my head hurts. I don't even know where I am. Okay. For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube, as well as One Time for the Fan. Again, One Time for the Fan. Sunday nights at 8, Wednesday nights at 8, Friday mornings at 9. So we do have a show tomorrow morning, and we will have the executive chef for the Falcons on. So he'll give us some pointers about food and all that. So it'll be a good show. And also For My ATL Sports 1, I typically do it Friday evening, so I'll probably do it tomorrow evening around 7:30. So yeah, hey, thank you, number one, Jordan, for having me. Smitty, Chris, as always, man, love you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. To the fans of the chat, hey man, enjoyed this show with you guys and looking forward to doing many more. Chris, it's on you, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you already know how it is. We get to clowning. Sometimes, time gets away from us. Thank you to everybody who stayed with us. And, for everybody who sees this video, hopefully to watch it in the entireties. Man, thank you for guys for, coming out. Again, this was a great idea by Jordan. I appreciated him having me on, Smitty, T. Will, to talk about this. Honestly, A1 Forever Sports on YouTube, come on by, have a conversation with me. I'll talk a little to anybody. So come on by. TikTok, the real A1 Forever. X is A1 Forever, and Instagram A1 Forever, man. Just come on by, have a conversation, talking football, basketball, baseball. Shoot, I'm also getting into some other things too. I'm working on trying to get into this gaming aspect of sports or whatnot. So I'm working on some things behind the scenes, trying to link up and network with people. Just looking forward to the season ahead of us, y'all. Let's get it.
Smitty.
Y'all can find me on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Find me at FatBoySlim_21 on Twitter. I'm always starting stuff on there. And maybe y'all seen that already if y'all tune into this channel. But again, man, we will have NFL shows coming up all season. Breaking news. We keep y'all intact. Me, Chris, and Berto at the 95 North Sports Machine. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned because that channel is dropping soon on YouTube. So y'all please subscribe to that channel as well. And Jordan, man, again, thank you for having me on.
Yes.
Always nice working with you, man. And I hope we can do some down the road soon. The Eagles are coming week 2.
Yeah,
they are coming week 2. But I just want to see Jordan put on that Cowboys shirt. I would stop all of my plans. I literally would put anything on hold just to see him do that show about the Cowboys because I have a feeling it would be painful.
That's how many zeros I would need.
He just put it out.
Honestly, y'all, to end it all, I think T Will got a Troy Aikman jersey in his closet.
I do not. The man's a Hall of Famer, okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't care about the Cowboys, but I do feel like we owe our elders some respect. I feel like y'all are being a little disrespectful saying that Troy couldn't play in today's league like we would trade him like we did Heineke for a case of beer and some
wise man.
I'm asked off camera. We're gonna talk off camera.
Wise man once said, "Respect is not given; it's earned."
Brian, oh shit! Oh wow!
Where did he earn it?
Oh
I didn't
wow!
see him earn it. 3 rings.
Damn!
Go talk to Jim.
That was my senior quote, by the way.
Damn! What is this generation coming to? Right. Oh my goodness! Oh wow! Gee.
Anyways, guys, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for going over this all-time team. I worked pretty hard for this, and
yes, you did.
I loved all your input. I loved everything about it. So, please, everybody, go follow them everywhere. These 3 guys are awesome. So, with that being said,